can go live, but I'm going to hit the go live button.
Okay.
So we can have this conversation on mic, because I don't hear anybody else speaking. So we can jaw about Ghost from the Past, everybody. Hi, how you doing? Let me tweet it.
If we're talking about reprints, I got. But
well, it's funny how like there's exclusivity, and then there's like, oh, this card is comfortably settled into our meta. Like, obviously, they're a little slow roll on some of their reprints. Like, Albaz was entirely unchanged, except they pulled Ice Dragon's Prison out of it for some ungodly reason. But Red Eye's Dark Dragoon has had like 3 reprints in 2 years. Like, all at high rarity, but several times they brought that.
I think the only one of those
back.
cards that they've really slipped up on is Access Code.
Yeah,
I believe that still only had 2 printings.
Yes, for now.
yeah.
And it's still like $150 used.
Are there any links from Ghost of the Past?
So I don't necessarily have anything like that, but if you recall, MBT had a topic on this recently, and he actually did discuss the fact that Escator Dawnwalker is ridiculously expensive for really no reason.
Yep.
Oh no, there's a bunch of cards like that.
Yeah.
Like Access Code Talker, the reason I'm mad about Access Code Talker is it is a meta-defining card that was released in 2020, so it's been 2 years and some change.
Now, admittedly, at least it was a core set card when it came out, but then they just didn't reprint it for a while. It wasn't until
El Dorado.
Yeah. They didn't even put it in the Megaton, I don't think.
Nope. And it's still $60, which is
we've got so we're talking about Ghost in the Past Second Haunting, which it's not out yet, but it got dumped on the internet recently. There's apparently some rumors that the Ghost rare rate isn't actually higher, even though Konami said they would be making it higher. But it's not out in the wild, so I don't know for sure. It's got some unfortunate stuff. I do not know why the flunk. Can I say a hard F? Yeah, we can do this for 2 minutes. Okay, I can say a hard fuck. I don't know why the fuck Konami doesn't just give us more structure decks. Like, I don't know what they think the revamp of the Agent structure deck would like. Do they think it's gonna hurt the Albaz sales? No, God no.
No. Yeah.
But all those cards, all the new Agent shit and reprints are dumped in Ghost from the Past for some ungodly reason. We're finally getting some imports. Fucking finally, Neos Kluger.
Finally.
Oh, that's finally a real card?
Yeah. It's going to be released in English in Ghost from the Past. Decode Talker Heat Soul is another one that was, like, stuck in promo hell forever. That's finally coming out. Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragon is another card that's been fake-ass for a while.
Yeah.
DDD Vice King Requiem.
We're in that era, ironically enough, in Prague Playoff, where there are cards where if you look at their printing dates between OCG and TCG, it's starting to get silly.
Yeah, some of that is because, again, the OCG has this really strong marketing angle with V-Jump. Like, literally every month a new Yu-Gi-Oh! Promo card will come out, and the TCG doesn't do Shonen Jump promos anymore. They used to do that, but now they don't. Partially because it would super fuck up the meta when stuff like you could, due to shipping, you could get Stratoses like 4 months early and some bullshit. But
yeah,
it means that we don't have the normal, so they have to tuck these into either TCG exclusive sets like Ghost from the Past and other stuff, or they have to like slip them in the world premiere slots and core sets, which takes time.
Other times it is either like what you were bringing up, Konami of America being allergic to structure decks, which I don't understand.
Yeah, that's another big problem that I don't know why they don't do that more, because I feel like that's an easier product to manage than to randomize.
Honestly, take a shot for those of you listening. That was the biggest culture shock for me from going to Magic to Yu-Gi-Oh! Was the lack of pre-made decks. Because spoiler, Magic usually prints about 5 decks per set they release, at least, and then like usually 11 decks. Magic prints a shit ton of structure decks.
Yeah.
Like,
and in the OCG, Yu-Gi-Oh! Does as well. There's like twice as many decks per year in the OCG. They have this whole thing where they retrain old decks. They have a manga about it. Over here, you'll notice that structure decks are much less respectable, and unfortunately, a decent chunk of them are imported for what seems like nostalgia.
Yeah, it's like, I was like, the only ones that make it over are nostalgia bait.
Well, technically, the Egyptian god structure decks weren't structure decks in the OCG. That was a weird special side set that the TCG repackaged as a couple of structure decks and then the King's Court side set with the rest of that stuff. But still, they packaged it as a structure deck because the TCG understands that nostalgia is a huge marketing power for them.
Yeah.
So there's a shitload of whatchamacallit, the like weird new Infernity shit from the manga, like Sage, Pawn, Void Cauldron. Loth will be happy. Performer Pal Misdirector's finally getting released in the TCG.
Oh, that's a real card finally?
Yep. This seems to just be like Konami's making a dedicated effort to like scratch off cards that don't exist from their list. And then it's got reprints. There's Patroller being reprinted. They've got a lot of Despia reprints. Comedy Tragedy, Aluber, that's a big reprint.
Yeah.
You know, and then there's just random shit. I don't know why. Mega Ryza is reprinted.
Oh,
Do you play
that's actually
Mega in
that's it.
Flunder?
Yeah, Mega Rise is the Flunder card.
Okay. All right, so that makes sense. That's relevant.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate that Colt.
That's
Wing
actually a
is getting
needed reprint because that's another one of those cards that only got printed once and then.
Yeah, it's funny that Mecha Phantom Beast Colt Wing is getting a reprint because it's been there. It's been a long time. But shit like Alien Ammonite, Doppel Warrior.
I don't know about those.
Deskbot 001. Dallas, you'll be happy. Wandering King Wildwind is in this list.
Yeah, but once again, like I don't necessarily. I'm not like I don't want Konami to do the Wizards model of we reprint everything all the time, every time.
Yeah, no.
I just want them to reprint cards like Flame King Genghis or the Ants Tuner card that are like unreasonably expensive for no reason.
Yeah. This is not that. This is still really weird. So
basically,
go ahead, X.
You to put it in my own mind, you want a set that basically releases promos in a proper like almost like the Anime Chronicle, but like less out of the ether, but things that already existed. Like cards should at least have more than 1 to 2 printings.
Well, I think it means
as
staples.
normal.
It should be like it should be
I don't
either
even
like
mean
Dual
necessarily-
Devastator, which is a crazy good set. 'cause it's
I
fixed,
don't
or,
necessarily mean only staples, because also like archetype important cards, because like Flame Genghis is a central card to that
And it
deck.
only has, like,
It's
one
not a
printing, I
card
think.
you can- yeah, it has one.
So
It was a promo within a mega pack.
what you're thinking of is stuff like Dark Beginning, like sets that are not necessarily new cards, but are several
they need
sets
to
worth
be
of
in
old
circulation.
cards.
I just mean like important stuff. Like I don't need them to reprint like DDD Beowulf, who is never used in any DDD deck ever.
Well,
Like
so I guess
I'm
other
more
than
mean just
OTS packs,
importance.
I don't think I don't think Yu-Gi-Oh has a precedent of the product you're talking about then, because
yeah, that's what I mean. It's like-
the way they handle reprints usually is they will either tuck a couple of them into core sets, very rarely and usually very iconic cards. Mega tin packs will do the thing that shit like Dark Beginnings used to do, where it'll be like, okay, here's all of the previous year's set worth of cards reprinted in different rarities.
I'm curious, what is the Yu-Gi-Oh card that's been reprinted the most?
Oh, it's got to be shit like MST or Pot of
Effect-
Greed.
I would say Effect Veiler, maybe. Like,
Veiler's
Effect
also
Veiler-
pretty up there.
Yeah, Veiler's
Because
been
I don't
in
know
a lot
if
of
it would,
structure.
and I would wonder if it could beat Magic's most reprinted card.
Because like
Probably
the
not. I
don't
the
think it
thing
would.
with Yu-Gi-Oh prints is like the most common source of staple reprints besides structure decks, which as we discussed, the TCG is slightly allergic to. I don't think anybody's a huge fan of that, but other than
Yeah.
buying
No,
up all the
collectors are, but they
structure
don't
decks
count.
that come out,
Like, okay,
I don't think there's
the
anything
one-
we can do about that.
Much like
one
scalpers,
complaint I have
TCG
about-
collectors aren't humans, so you don't have to worry about them.
The one complaint I have about the Albaz structure deck is we just had a structure deck with frickin' Dark Ruler No More. Why are you giving us another structure deck with Dark Ruler No More? Like,
Well, that's because they're reprinting staples. Dark Ruler is actually a staple, and it's reprinted a lot. It's
Yeah.
like if you look at a lot of structure decks, they will just have twin twisters. Mirror
Yeah.
Forces
The
are very
good
common, shit
question
like that.
isn't, David. The question isn't why are they giving us Dark Ruler no more. It's why aren't they giving us Ice Dragons?
Yeah, why isn't that
Yeah.
IDP or Forbidden Droplet or
That's what I was gonna say. Is hey,
Lightning Vortex?
Well, okay, I understand why it's not Forbidden Droplet. They reprinted that in Brothers of Legend as a secret rare.
Which
but,
is the
No,
exact same
I-
rarity it was. That's still kind of a...
Yeah.
I mean, I still don't
That
understand.
doesn't make it
Like,
less.
But
it doesn't make it
I
less
do
proportional.
think that they probably need to give us an actual like common Forbidden Droplet.
Well, it's just like I've said this. Konami on that Vince McMahon grind.
Yeah.
And what I mean
That's-
by that is they are incredibly stupid when it comes to business decisions like this, and it's costing them actual like.
I will say a lot of Japanese companies are really about long term and not about solving.
Yeah, but
things
Konami's just
immediately.
stupid. Like there's
I don't know if
precedent for that.
Konami's stupid. I think Konami is stuck in the hell of a lot of companies the past 2 years where they don't know what the fuck to do. Because, like, on the one hand, their market share is way up. Because, guess what? During the pandemic, people binged a lot of TV and a lot of nostalgia, and they bought into a shitload of hobbies. So, like,
But-
I'm sure Yu-Gi-Oh! Is making more money than it has been for several years. But
It
also,
has, but
the
the
rate,
same
there's
time-
been no tournaments either, so, like, Konami has no way to, like...
and also at the same time, the retention from people playing pre-pandemic is ridiculously low because of how, and this is not a controversial opinion and is shared by almost every professional Yu-Gi-Oh player at the moment, stupidly prohibitively expensive Yu-Gi-Oh is right now.
Yeah.
It really is.
They
Like $800 per deck on average, which
the
is dumb.
cards are the cards that are hot right now are ludicrous, and I would
Yeah.
assume Konami would not be into that, as we've discussed, because a lot of that is the secondary market and
That they
basically
don't get any
scalping
benefit
slash
from.
investing. Yeah, they don't get anything out of that. Like, the number one way for Konami to make money is to do like they did with the I mean,
Yeah.
Albaz will kind of be like that because that's still meta. Like, even without IDP, that's literally one card got changed, and none of it is the cards that are going to make that deck a big deal in the meta drop.
Like I will say that just looking at the structure deck in my hands right now, like this is probably
and they've just
the
announced
best
an
structure
Aluber
we've had in a
reprint,
minute.
right? Like, you know, Despia's coming back, boys. Watch out for that.
Yeah.
But the thing
I-
they need to do is, one, they need to stop doing weird rarity up jumps for certain cards. Konami, if it's got a girl on it, stop making her a secret rare. Stop it. That doesn't do anything.
Or
Just
just
makes
make
it
those
annoying.
cards all universally terrible.
Well, they're already usually terrible, but for some reason
That's
you get
true.
fucking upcharged because they make it a high rarity card. Now, sometimes that doesn't matter. Like, I don't know what the fuck the price of Warrock Mountain is these days. Bad, probably. But, like, what they need to do to, like, if they want to just instantly move product, just do like they did with the Soulburner deck, where they tucked an Ash Blossom common into it. You can't
Yeah.
buy those decks for MSRP anymore because it has the cheap Ash Blossom in it. Dual
And,
Devastators are
hey.
fucking sold out everywhere because that has also that's got a shitload of card structure.
Yeah, I will say
I would actually
that
honestly not be
once again,
shocked
I'll-
if sorry to cut you off there, David, but let me finish my sentence.
yeah, no.
If Dual Devastator 2 or something like it isn't announced in the next couple of years, and just be like, hey, this is a fixed structure set. It has prints of all the other chunks of staples that we didn't give you in the last Dual Devastator. So, like, cross out Dark Ruler, Nibiru,
Nib.
new Nibiru. Because, by the way, they announced Power of the Elements, by the way, is going to be a ludicrously good set. They announced basically reverse Nibiru. You do it on your turn, and you get to tribute your opponent's monsters that have activated their effect during this turn. So, basically, you have this in hand, you play through your opponent's negate board, and then you're like, okay, I tribute your
So
entire
the-
board. Nice negates,
So
nerd.
that card is
I
fuck
can then
off red
consume
draw.
your
I got
counter.
it.
Yeah, basically, everybody who builds a big boy negate board, you're just like, oh, you activated your effect on my turn? Fuck you.
I consume all
Yeah,
of
I
your
love
bullshit.
that.
Your bullshit.
That's a
is
pretty
fine.
rad
I
card.
also love that because
I
it
think
still
I found
loses
another-
to DVD.
I
That's
think
the
I
best
found
part.
another reason why I suspect Synchron is going to be one of the decks that Crossout Designator is going to get stuffed into.
True, but no, God, I love Divine King Dickface. I can't remember his name. I'm not gonna try.
Yeah.
Because he's just like, oh, you're gonna try and hand trap me? I eat your hand trap. I
So the
drink
weirdest
your
thing-
hand trap.
the weirdest thing about this is this reminds me of the meme about how Yu-Gi-Oh is just an arms race, and we're just reaching the next step of the arms race now.
Yeah, I mean, it
problem is-
rotates because the ban list can just take cards out of consideration.
The problem with Yu-Gi-Oh is it is a money race at this point. That's
Yeah,
always
it really
been my
shouldn't
problem
be.
with Yu-Gi-Oh.
I'm hoping they'd work on that. Because, like, hypothetically, yes, every card in Ghost from the Past 2 is an Ultra, but every card in the set is an Ultra, so there's no rarity distribution other than the Ghost Rares, which, by the way, none of those matter if you're not one of those pricks who invests. They're literally all dog shit cards, except
oh my God,
maybe
don't,
Sphere Mode.
Those aren't people. They don't count.
True. But the list of official Ghost Rares is Blue Eyes, Red Eyes, DMG, Dark Armed Dragon, which isn't relevant anymore, Sphere Mode, Cyber Dragon, Blue Eyes Ultimate, Red Dragon Archfiend, Eye of Timaeus. Those are just nostalgia bait. Nobody
I
gives a
think
shit.
the most relevant card is Red Eyes as used for Dragoon fodder.
Yes, hypothetically, the most meta-relevant cards are either Sphere Mode Side Deck, which I don't even know if that's hot right now,
No.
and
No.
Red Eyes because you can pitch it for
Yeah.
Dragoon.
Trigger. And
Maybe
And
Blue
those-
Eyes because Blue Eyes
Yeah.
decks are coming back, but
Because those 5 pace.
actually no. Also, if we're doing that strategy, we also do need to take account Blue Eyes Ultimate, the biggest monster you could summon off Waking the Tenyi.
That's not a strategy still though.
No, that's a dumb thing you can do.
That's a funny that's a me deck, Omega.
Yeah, I know, but that's if you're playing Tenyi, that's a legitimate strategy because Fist of the Unrivaled Tenyi is like Waking the Dragons.
Well, Omega, no, it's not because you forgot how cracked Teddy is now. They don't need to do that
True.
anymore.
Also, by the way, all those
Sword
motherfuckers
Soul.
getting reprinted in this. Adhara, Sithana, Mapura, Nahata, Vishuddha, Ashuna.
Well, I'm just happy that they're no longer going to gut Sword Soul in the next ban list because Sword Soul lost relevancy real damn. Remember when everyone was like, Sword Soul is going to be all everyone plays for like 3 months?
I feel like people were like preemptively burned out about Sword Soul because they realized it was basically going to be kind of like the new Dragon Link, like just worm good stuff synchro, and then they were like, God, this is really boring. I hate these lines. I want to play a deck that actually does something weird. I'm going to play a 60-card pile deck and call it Based. The official acronym, by the way, Based. The last thing I wanted to say before we actually get to Constellars, because
that's an
Axe is here
acronym?
now. Yeah, it's an acronym.
I've been here for like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
I
you've
think.
been here for a while now, but you weren't here when we got started, which is how we got into this hellhole.
No, sir, 'cause I
Loth
was
hasn't
gonna go
awakened
wait.
yet, but we'll see. I think Marth will
We
also
could go.
be
We
here
could start
eventually.
without him. But that's
I can ask Vesper if they want to. Now that Vesper has missed
Exists.
yelling about ghosts,
what's the acronym?
the last thing I wanted to bring up is because chat has been dead quiet while we've been yelling about Yu-Gi-Oh. Hi guys.
I mean, what they-
Oh right, I
Isn't
forgot
this stream
you're
not open
streaming
until like
this.
another 45 minutes?
Give me
No,
one
it's
second.
been open. It's been live. I set it for 8:45. We're good. We've been on air the entire time, Axe.
Oh, I took it. I thought it said 9:45. The fuck?
Nope, 8:45. I gave you the 10-minute warning.
Yeah, he did give us the 10-minute one.
Now that was accurate. The last thing I want to bring up though about Ghosts is this is such like a weird like half-ass nostalgia bait set. Like
would've should've
technically,
considered that.
some stuff that needs reprints, like Quintet Magician's getting a reprint, hasn't had one in like 4 years. But they've got those shitty old vanilla fusions like Mystical Sand and Sandwich, that have no effect, that were barely printed. They're being reprinted as ultras for some ungodly reason.
I mean, at least those are cards that.
I mean, they quote unquote need reprints, right?
Yeah.
But
I'll take that over the 500,000th Blue Eyes print.
which still is in the set.
Yes, no, I didn't doubt that.
But yeah, the unfortunate thing is I talked about this. You weren't here yet, Axe, but unfortunately, to make Ghost from the Past Second Haunting, they cannibalized the Agent Structure deck. So a shitload of the new Agent cards are in here as a set.
Because
on the
once
plus
again,
side, they're all ultra rares, so they're all shiny.
on the because once again, Yu-Gi-Oh is allergic to structure decks in the
Can you
West.
say it again? Sorry.
Oh, did you not
wait
catch
for
that?
the-
The Agent Structure deck got cannibalized for Ghost from the Past too.
Well, I was gonna buy them in physical paper, and I got sad because I thought it would be nicer to have them as like card bank cards. Well, shit.
We've said that before. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh is allergic to structure decks in the West. They just are.
Yeah, it's a weird case. But
Like, I
all
would
right,
buy
let's
them.
get
Ugh.
into the Constellars though. This is gonna be an interesting episode. in terms of constellarification.
You
So
make fun of a lot of JRPGs in this episode.
So we should clarify, audience. When we say constellar, we are referring to constellar, known as sacred in the OCG. It is not Satellar or Tellar Knight.
We'll get there.
Specifically Satellar Knight, actually, technically, but still.
Well, they are Tellar Knight. That's the.
So, Tellar Knight is the follow-up, which is just phonetic. There's no anything.
Tellar Knight is a term that they used for cards that want to target both Satellar and Constellar.
Yeah. So, we live in a very, very weird space, because there are some standalone Tellar Knight like spell traps. There are Stellar Knight cards. There are Dark Tellers and other weird shit. Those guys came out later, and in fact, in the lore, the Tellar Knights are meant to be the next generation of Constellars. After we do all the stuff with the thing that you know about with the Lady Sophia, and we go to the new dual terminal, all the Constellars become the future Satellar Knights. So we will do that later, but these are technically separate, okay? And honestly, like design-wise, I feel like Konami deliberately designed the Satellars, the Tellar Knight archetype, to just be the sequel to Constellar and be Constellar support. Because Konami's original approach to Constellars was to just mag dump this entire archetype in Hidden Arsenal 7. And then there was a couple of follow-up cards in the Xyz era. And there was one piece of support in Blazing Vortex, because of course there was one single piece of legacy support in Blazing Vortex. And then there's no more. There's no more, like, even though this Constellars were an archetype that appeared in Arc 5, used by, the dub name was Dipper Orion, by the way.
That sounds like a
I love Yu-Gi-Oh! Dubs.
Sounds like a stage name. Like, you can't
With
tell
an
me
apostrophe.
Name.
But despite that, they didn't get any support during that time. The cards that were coming out were Tellar Knights, which are a similar light Xyz archetype. So it's a little weird. So we're going to start, fact dumping you on Constellars, who basically... they're like the foretold messiah of the dual terminal world. Like, all the elders of the tribes are like, when the shit really hits the fan, some guys are going to show up and save our butts. And that was the Constellars. Because they showed up to punch out the Elswarm faction.
So I'm going to say this at the top of the... At the top of the hour, because I'm going to be making jokes throughout the entire thing. This reads like someone played Final Fantasy 1 and wrote fan fiction about it and made them Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. And then designed them that way. Because this is a hard Warrior of Light aesthetic, particularly from the Dissidia Duodecahedron. I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah.
Don't blame me. The name for that game is stupid.
So the other thing you need to know about the way Constellars will appear both in their card art and in their name is they're named after space stuff. Specifically, their name is usually drawn from a star, an Arabic star name.
Of sorts, yeah.
There's like one guy who isn't, who we'll see later. Sombre is named after the Sombrero Galaxy, because of course he is.
I've actually been taking astronomy courses for like my last term before my graduation, so like actually they come up more often where I can.
Yeah, so these will be using a lot of mostly the Arabic names, but there's a couple of Greek names in here as well. But also they are associated with constellations, so you will see in the backdrop, for instance, as we pull up our first boy, if I can... Nope, we've lost the copy paste.
Let's see if we're going by, I guess, star level.
We're going to start... No, I always do alphabetical.
Let's see if
Constellar
I can remember the...
Akubens.
Let's see if I can remember their level. I think he's a 5 or he's a 7.
You're super wrong. He's a 4.
No, he's a 4.
Most of these guys are going to be 4s. This isn't an Xyz monster.
Right.
Well, no. There's
No, I think a bulk of them will be 4. Well, okay.
There's 3 4s, 2 3s, 2 6s, 2
Because
5.
the XCs go 3, 4, 5, and they have a 6, but I don't think you actually make the 6 with the guys.
I remember it being as like 5 or 6 because I just remembered his art.
No. This is one of the cards you never use.
Yeah, that's why I don't remember it
But
that
the
well.
other thing I want to bring up is you can vaguely see the astrological symbol for Cancer in there. He is named after the star name Alpha Cancri, the brightest star in Cancer, aka Akubens, the Klaus. So he has Klaus.
I kind of like it as a just like a celestial crab robot.
Well, so, okay, I mean, like we said, these guys are named after stars, and they have constellation themes. So this guy is Cancer. He's named after the stars known as the claws. He's got claws. Okay, works. There are parts of this that I don't think work super well. First of all, that fucking Slav squat. What the fuck? Why are his legs right angles?
Crab.
Yeah, but he's not a crab. He is a man. It looks uncomfortable. No, this is not a machine.
Yeah,
this is not. This is not. Actually, no, it is a machine. Okay, so it is a robot.
Yeah, the Constellars are largely robots, if I remember correctly.
There are a few types. There are a lot of warriors and machines. And there's some weird ones in there.
Correctly, it's warrior, machine, fairy are the types.
Probably. This was a early, I think it was early Xyz era archetype. So they didn't really give a shit about like synergy that way. It's mostly the 4s and the being lights. That's our crest, by the way, down there in the hell that chat is stuck into. Or would be if anybody was actually in chatting. So yeah, this is Akubens. Art-wise, I mean, like, he's got really bulky armor, and he's got weird joystick dongles on his shoulders, but, like, it's not the worst, to be sure. We've seen way stupider shit.
No doubt on that.
And he at least does have some crab-like efforts. I mean, I don't think making him crab walk is a good choice to make a card that's cool, but it is on brand. All right, so stat-wise, this is a level 4 light machine. It has 800 attack and 2k defense. This is our mandatory wall monster. When this card is normal or special summoned, all Constellar monsters you currently control, grammar is important, gain 500 attack. So, not good. And this is the other theme you're going to see a lot. Because Constellars are an Xyz archetype, they have a lot of effects which proc on them being normal or specialed, sometimes to allow you to do further normaling or specialing, because Xyz.
Must go. Sorry, I can't. This art is awful.
I mean, I don't think it's awful. I just think it's kind of like cartoony.
Okay, I'll be very honest. I'm going to be a little bit maybe hypercritical of the Constellar, because I've always had just an issue with this aesthetic in general. Though I don't like the White Knight aesthetic in general.
Dallas hates Saturday morning cartoons. Got it.
No, I just hate the White Knight archetype. Like, you know what I mean. Archetype as in, like, character archetype. The armor design looks so weird and poofy.
Oh, I mean, this armor does look weird.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, also, his shoulder, like, I don't know what you call those, like, antennas?
I call them joysticks.
Yeah, like... I mean, the only cool part of him, I think, is his claw fist.
Yep.
I think that's really nice.
Well, luckily, you don't really have to look at this guy because his effect is terrible.
Oh, yeah, no, he's awful.
I think I've been running one of him when I needed him to just fill up slots.
Don't know why you did that. I don't think you did. I'm going to be honest, Axe, I don't think you did.
I mean, he may have put him in the deck at some point because, once again, I would like to remind you, all of these cards, like... I'm not going to do the exact math, but I'm going to say probably 75 or 80% were all just dumped in Hidden Arsenal 7. So,
yeah.
We're playing a limited format. Axe probably wasn't able to secure perfect copies of all the cards.
That might
I
be
also
true,
ran
but-
one of them because of its effect, which I used, I think once or twice, just as a thing.
No, you definitely did
But-
not.
You definitely did.
The attack increase effect? No, I don't think you ever did that.
I don't think it was on camera, but I think it was something I did in initial testing of the deck when I priced eventually. I don't remember. It's
Oh,
been
Well,
like
it's a bad
months.
effect, so I'm glad you rotated
This
him out.
card is bad, and it should feel bad.
I used it because of another one that will come up later that's really important, that because you need a 4 as a target.
Oh wait,
Well,
does
which
it
is
do a
more because
level
they have 4
increase?
targets.
No, it probably just lets him summon another 4.
Typically, number 4 from hand, it has to be a concealer, so
Yeah.
having more 4s available was just
Right, but
part of
that
it.
isn't. Then he's just a body. You don't care about the effect because you're going to use that
No,
effect
yeah,
to
it's like
exceed.
the effects worked. If the effect happened, it was nice.
So this is Constellar Aldebaran.
He's a
This card is Banthapoodle.
I think.
Aldebaran, aka Alpha Tauri from Taurus, one of the brightest stars in the sky. Don't know why they stuck this guy on that star in that case, but hey, here we are.
The cloak's cool, but the face is just kind of off.
I
The
mean,
leg is.
he's got
This
some
is
weird
Rob
posture.
It's the angle.
Yeah,
It'll
this
be
is
normal.
once again a Liefeldian pose of like, what are you doing with their legs?
Yeah, like his legs and torso I don't think match up because he's not a robot, so there's no reason why he should rotate like that. And a lot of it just has a lot of exaggerated proportions, like those horns are like really weird and I'm not sure if they're actually symmetrical. Like I get that they're like bowed out in different directions, but they don't look like they line up.
Also, he has like 90s action figure tubing on his arms.
Oh yes, absolutely. I mean, maybe it's supposed to be a spacesuit because he's a space knight. He's a space knight bullman.
I guess. I think it looks awful.
Yeah, I don't think it looks awful per se, but I am not necessarily enjoying this aesthetic. This does not like. I have looked at Yu-Gi-Oh cards up close and gone, ugh.
This
guy
looks
doesn't
like a
make me do
bad.
that.
No, you know what this looks like? This looks like bad SWTOR armor.
I mean, to
This
me,
looks like bad Star Wars armor.
to me,
On-
so
on-
far, all I've
I'll be
got
real.
is that just that these guys look kind of like cheap Saturday morning cartoon stuff.
I was more gonna say because it's slightly rotund. It makes me think of a guy in a
Oh,
like custom con. A guy
Have
in
you
a
seen
con in
Body
custom
Type
armor.
4?
Ah, Bubba Fett, yeah, Fat
Yeah,
DeLoreans, got it.
You've seen? Have you seen Body Type 4? Body Type 4 is a trip.
But like,
There's
what,
some big
what I'm saying though
boys
is like,
in the-
this makes me think of just like a con dude wearing weird armor.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Bubba Fett or Fat DeLoreans. If you've ever
Yeah,
if you've
no,
ever
well-
seen an overweight con guy try to stuff himself into Mandalorian armor,
No, I'll show you. I'll bring
I've
up a
seen a bunch
picture
of
of
people
my
with
guy.
covered armor. Yeah, trip.
SWTOR. Body
I mean,
Type
I'm
4.
gonna compare it to Star Wars. One, because Dallas won't shut up about SWTOR, but also because I
What you know,
I
I
am
know.
a Star Wars nerd, so I know a lot about the fact that there is a very robust costuming community in Star Wars. But anyway,
This is what peak male perfection looks like.
yeah.
But no.
God, what's that one? There's one of the Sith Lords who has this physique. I'm trying to remember which one it is. Barris?
Oh,
Oh,
Palladius.
the guy's a fucking.
Oh, Barris. Yeah, Dark
Yeah.
Donuts.
Yeah, that's right. I see that meme a lot online. Also, Aldebaran has a weird weapon. I think it's supposed to be like a lasso, but it looks like a frisbee.
It's a ring.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing with it.
It looks like a chakram of energy.
This guy is a level 3 light beast warrior. 1300, 800. Now, unfortunately, I'm fairly certain that if you're running the variant of the 3s, his effect is important. Because when this card is normal summon, you can special summon one level 3 Constellar monster from your hand. And it must be 3.
Yeah, constellars are very specific about how like you need, be like, if you go, you have to commit to one thing, you commit to the other thing. But it's why like it's hard.
This
to
is
do.
presumably why Konami never tried retroactive support and just made a new version of this archetype.
They're partially, but it's also because one of the big support cards they gave is like one that basically just lets you get a free summon in. It's all about normaling for 2 cards at once.
And then cheating out Xyz through weird means.
Well, the Constellars have a lot of inherent ranking up power, which wasn't super common. Also wondering which.
I should make a body type for it.
Also, which support card are you talking about, Axe?
It's the one because it's like there's a very one the same exact not support but like a later wave card. It was like one card I think of like 2 to 3 cards they released like a few sets later.
Okay, well it's not a Constellar card, so.
It is.
You don't have to talk about it.
And I'm literally looking at all the spell traps that have Constellar in their name. None of them do anything
No, it's a
with
monster.
summoning. Oh.
They're
Okay.
Monster. That gives you a free summon.
Well, they all do that.
Yeah,
Most one does it from hand or not from hand, but it doesn't need to summon to trigger.
Okay. Anyway.
I think.
By the way, Constellars don't have any essential spell traps. There's one I want to look at because it's got a. I think it has an interesting art in terms of like the narrative. But like all their other spell traps are like really weird. Like I think the only one you
I
could
really
call
remember
essential is Star Chart. That lets you
the
draw
one
a card.
That's what I say. The only one I actually remember caring about was like when you exceed, you draw a card.
Yeah, it's once per turn, but it does replace cards, which is kind of important because these guys go through some
you run
some
2
advantage.
of them because you want to see it. You want to see it show up.
Yeah, but you don't actually want. Well, actually, I think it's a soft, so I don't
I mean,
know.
there was a
It is
fun
soft,
card
so
that
you
was
can run
relevant.
more than one. Depends if how many you're.
What were you saying, Dallas?
There was a fun Constellar card spell trap that was relevant in Duel Links for a while.
Which one?
Oh,
Is
was
it,
it a Constellar card or a Satella card?
Belt?
Yeah, I think it's Belt.
Because there's one
Constellars
archetype
were-
card which it's a continuous
Oh,
spell trap that
shoot.
says light monsters' effects can't be negated.
Yeah, I think it was that.
Yeah, I think that's Belt.
Yeah, and I think that card has actually popped up in actual decks as a like light archetype card.
Yeah, because it says Constellar, but it has not necessarily anything to do with the archetype directly, other than the
I
fact
think
that
it
they
was
are
even
lights.
side decked in some Monarch decks because it prevents what's her face from being negated. The starter, the level 1 thing that summons one from deck. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Maybe.
It's Eidos, I think, or Ida or Eidos, one of those two.
It doesn't sound like any names I have in my list.
No, I'm saying that it was the Constellar Belt was played in Monarchs.
Oh, the Monarch one, yeah.
Yeah, the
is
level
Eidos.
1 light starter.
That's
Because if
that's pretty
someone
fair.
negates that, your deck goes, okay, my deck stops.
Blarp. All right, let's move on with Constellars. David had to step away for a second, but he'll be back. Eventually, Loth and Marth will exist as well. I don't know if they will exist anytime in a timely fashion to yell about
Yeah.
cards, but
Oh my God, I don't know if this is a good time. But I
So
actually
for
have
some
to
reason,
also
I always
step away
thought
for
that
seconds.
she had
Sorry.
hair, but it's actually just an astrological symbol.
yeah, no, it's just the symbol behind it. And she has a cape. Okay, Dallas had to step away for a sec, too.
She's honestly, I think like
Well,
I
actually, you should
always saw
allow
her
me to
as-
say which card this is so the audience can
Alright.
understand what we're talking about. This is Constellar. I assume it's Algaidi?
Algaides.
Well, there's no S on it in the card name. So I believe it is Algaidi.
Who's the one that has S on the end?
So, yeah, this is named after Alpha Capricorni. Traditional star name either Secunda Gaidi, Algaidi Secunda, or Grady. It's a Capricorn. Allegedly, this cape is supposed to be in the shape of a fishtail, but fuck you, it's not.
I can vaguely see it.
I mean, like, yeah, kinda, but the lines aren't even like symmetrical.
Again, it's the angle.
It's the fucking Wikipedia being like Yugo Fandom Wiki being like stuff.
No, I can see it. It's again the angle's off, so it's like you have to
I mean,
kind of go with
to
it.
me, she just looks like she has to pee.
Yeah, I don't know why she's folding her knees in. I
So
guess because
I have a weird story about this.
Is it relevant to the
longest
art
time-
of the card?
Yes.
Okay.
For all I've ever played it, because I never actually looked at it like this high res, or I never actually looked it up on the wiki to see high res of it. I always thought it was like never eyes. I thought it was always like a slate, and that there was like a plume on the back. I never
No.
thought about there being a cape. But I always thought there was like she had a plume for hair and not
No,
just
they
the horns.
they all have dumbass capes.
They're for
Eh,
space.
cape is- But it's like she looks way worse now because like in my mind I remember her as like something kind of more distinctly cooler. So,
I mean, she
Well,
she
none
has
of them
the
look that
best.
cool.
She has the best art of the 3 so far. Not that that's
Yeah.
saying a lot.
Well, it's because this is a spellcaster. This is clearly just somebody.
Yeah, this is a like.
The eyes are kind of a.
This is a generic D&D design like character.
Yeah. We've got a weird spellcasting rod. I don't know who the fuck invented the idea of using the spellcasting rod. It may have been D&D.
That looks like a WoW weapon.
Yeah.
Again, it's the weird thing of like we have Starbots and we have Star Knights, so it just
Yeah, the only part of her
spellcaster,
art
so.
the only part of her art I
You could
actually
be a
have a
Star
problem
Mage
with is that she looks like she has to pee, and it just keeps it doesn't stop bothering
I think
me.
the artist wanted to emphasize the thigh gap with the knees, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, there's no way this card could actually be cool because it's based on Copernicus, Capricorn, aka Goatfish. You can't be cool if you're Goatfish.
Omega, can I offer a counter argument?
Yeah, sure. If you could stop clattering
Sorry.
silverware.
It wasn't me, in my defense.
Don't break
here's
plate challenge.
Here's my counter argument to making Copernicus cool.
Well, that's Copernicus as in the guy. That's not Capricorn, the goatfish. That's a star model, which is pretty rad. But no,
we'll
Capricorn,
do
Mr.
DVDs
Goatfish
actually.
is not very impressive. So yeah, Algaidi exists.
I mean,
She
I think
is
it's the best art we've seen so far.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it is because they kept because she is just a spellcaster. I'm assuming it's a she with that hip waist ratio and stuff. But because it's a more humanoid base form, the armor's a lot more like contained. It's a lot more humanoid. They don't do the weird crab walking thing. They don't do like the weird poofy sleeves and the weird look like foam rubber horns of whatever the fuck Taurus was called. Aldebaran, right. They wasted a really cool star name on a guy who looks kind of goobery. Like, I think Algaidi here is generic, as we've said, but doesn't look as much like a Saturday morning cartoon reject. Unfortunately, Algaidi is an essential card for this archetype. You must play this card.
I want to bring it up.
no, she's
play her at 3, considering how the deck works.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's at 3 in every deck, but I've never seen her below 2.
Yeah, at least you have like minimum 2.
Algaidi's
Depending.
effect is this is a level 4 spellcaster, 1600 attack, 1400 defense, and remember they're all light. When this card is normal, you can special 1 level 4 Constellar monster from your hand. So
her stats don't usually matter most of the time.
this is because you make an Xyz. If you have another 4 in your hand, you normal her, you make an Xyz.
There is a very specific card you want to normal from your hand with her, but we'll get to him.
Well, special because it's special summon.
Yeah, well, but there's a specific card you want to grab with her, but we'll get to her. We'll get to him. He's really important. I can tell you about that.
Yeah. So we've got you've seen kind of the lines we're going for.
It makes
God, I
more sense
can't
when
wait
you see
until
the
we get to a
chaos,
certain
yeah.
art, because I know there's an awful Constellar art.
Oh, well, there's a few. This
There's a few
guy.
that are weird.
We got a weird one coming up. Let me pull up the. So remember, we're doing this alphabetically, and again, 90% of these cards were like dumped in the same set. So we're jumping to a
Maybe
card
it's gonna get
nobody's probably heard of because he's another A star. Behold, Constellar Alresha.
Huh.
I remember seeing, but never actually playing him for some reason.
Well,
I
yeah,
think
this is
he was
spoilers. This is a level 6.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, he was like a 5 to 7, and it was like those are hard to pick, honestly.
Well, the thing is, he's the bad 5/7, I believe, or
Yeah.
5/6.
He's the bad one you have to tribute.
Yeah, he has a level 6 with an on tribute summon effect and shittier stats than a monarch. Therefore,
Well, but it's also his, if I remember correctly, his on summon effect isn't good.
I remember being like, he's just not worth it.
I mean, no, it
That's
is
right.
good because it's better than the other two than Aldebaran and Algaidi. We'll skip straight to it because we're talking about it. It's special summon a Constellar from your hand in face up defense position.
Oh no, this guy is played in Constellar decks.
Well, he has to be normal, so I assume he's not played now. Though I mean,
Well, no,
I guess
he's
you
played
could
now.
do with
He's played now.
Stormforth.
No, so there's a card. Oh my god, what the fuck is this? There's like a card called I think it's called like Siat.
It's like
Siat.
it's
Yes.
the other one.
Yeah.
It's like because there's
It's
also
a level 1 that Sidra affects.
Oh right, that one. I was thinking
Oh,
about
okay.
the other one, which Evil Swarm gets their own version of. That's like a level 4 that you can.
Well,
special
yeah,
from
but
Brave and you
that,
just never
we can't
summon.
talk about that card yet. We should actually
That's
talk
pretty
about that card last.
That one comes in a later wave, so we'll talk about the other ones first anyway.
Well, and it's also lore.
Yeah. So we mentioned Sombra earlier. That's later. That's like in the Mid-Xyz era. Same with Omega.
Yeah,
and
Sombra's like
whatever the
Tavares, like,
fuck
earlier.
actually is going on with Satellar Knight, Constellar Diamond, because I don't know why he's called Satellar Knight, because that dude's way dead before Satellar Knights happen.
Yeah.
Spoilers, but we'll discuss that later. You'll see when we get there, because we've already talked about one of the cards that makes up that man, and we'll talk about the other card that makes up that man in a second, or that dragon technically, because he's a worm. But Alresha, named after Alpha Piscicum, traditional name Alresha, the chief star of the constellation Pisces, so he is a freaky fish guy. I will say, armor-wise, this guy has, again, the slightly exaggerated, but this, I think, looks a little better. Like, especially when you know he's Pisces, because he's got kind of like the spiky fish guy face and some fins. It makes sense. His pose isn't super weird. It's fairly normal for this kind of stuff. He's got some, I don't know why there's two lightning. Well, I mean, it's Pisces. That's why there's two of everything. But practically, I don't know why he's got two lightning chains connecting his fish forks. But they're okay, It's an interesting design. Anything else? Anybody want to say anything about Alresha?
I'm
What's
not
doing here? You can talk
sure.
about Alresha.
Just like I think the swords over were kind of cool. So like I feel like.
I mean, they look like barbecue cookers, but
I mean, yeah, because
Well, yeah,
unless
'cause
they are
it's
bladed,
fish.
but I can't tell. But
They might be edged. It's hard to tell. They have a weird taper.
yeah, but like I think. Honestly, I think the rest of his armor is kind of
Okay,
cool.
I found a
I don't
problem.
think it works in execution, but I think it has
What?
cool parts.
I found a problem.
What's up?
Why is he wearing an eye patch on the outside of his helmet?
He's not wearing an eye patch.
No, that's just the grooves on his helmet.
Oh, okay, then that's
Yeah.
a stupid helmet.
Yeah, it's a fish. It's a fishman
Again,
helmet.
it's the angle. The angles are always
It's
weird.
I think there's
Yeah,
bet that they're
it's
not
a-
tapered.
This feels more like a bad guy helmet.
Well, yeah, this guy looks like a deep one. This guy looks like a deep one power armor from Cthulhu Tech. That's right. I made a deep reach today, kids.
Yeah.
But this is the sacred. These guys are the saviors from space, the messiahs. So stat-wise, we talked about his effect already, but this is a level 6 light warrior. He has 2200 attack, 1200 defense. So certainly, especially with some of the cards that come out, I think this effect, because it's a free special of any level, this can be handy. And like I said, in future, Stormforth exists. There are ways to get him out easier. I think this is an okay card.
Yeah, Stormforth fixes a multitude of sins.
Well, it really does.
I wouldn't call him sin.
Well, no,
Here's the pro-
we've talked a lot about how normal summoning tribute monsters is very clunky.
Here's the
Yeah.
problem. Constellar Knights are irrelevant. That's the issue. Satellar Knights are literally just, I'm you, but better.
Well, I did discuss that before. That seems to be what Konami unfortunately did with Constellar, was just like, hey, that dual terminal archetype didn't work out. What if we just made them again? It's like Flamevel, right? Like there were a couple of good Flamevel cards. There are actually some very spicy Constellars, usually the Xyz. And then
Yeah.
Konami went, hey, what if we just did this archetype theme exactly again,
No.
but better?
I'll say this: a single Constellar main deck monster has not been used since 2014.
Also, give me 1 second. I need to go get a drink again.
Sure, go for it. I will pull up the next art.
It's not like some other archetypes where their second iteration is not necessarily a full improvement. Like, even most of the Constellar Xyz are not played in Satellar Knight because Satellar Knight is a pure rank 4 deck, whereas Constellar got weird.
Yeah, but they did the other thing they do with a lot of these archetypes, where the Constellar Xyz are varying levels of generic. Like, some, I believe, are archetype locked, others are attribute locked, but several of them are purely generic.
No, the two generic Constellar archetypes are, like, arguably meta-defining cards. They're in a lot of decks. Just the archetype itself died.
Okay, so, behold Constellar Antares.
I remember looking at him when I tried to make the deck and then just passing for some reason.
Well, we'll talk about that. We're here to talk. The formula has been fixed for several months. Axe, art first.
Oh god, this art.
It's
I'm just gonna look to see.
I don't even know where to begin.
Well, thankfully, this guy is
here
another
looks
machine,
better.
so his skinny robot design makes sense. If you're wondering why does he have weird bug arms, I would like to remind you this is the astrological symbol for Scorpio.
No. Oh, that's what he looks like. He looks like a knockoff Scorpion from MK.
Yeah, I'm dead certain that's what they're doing with that weapon.
so the
No, he
thing is-
has the ninja hood. He has the spear.
He does have a fucking ninja hood. Yeah.
I
He
do
looks
remember,
like
but
he
I
has
actually
kind of
like
the chain.
Go ahead, X.
I like his helmet, but the rest is just like I think it's just a dumb mess. They're like
Yeah, they tried a little too hard.
I like it in a dumb fucking way. Like it's a
No,
dumb cartoon.
okay,
thing.
so Omega got to make a deep cut. I'm gonna make a deep cut.
Mhm.
This looks like MK11 if Scorpion had been turned into a cyber ninja instead of Frost, with her fucking weird ass designs. I don't know what this looks like.
So, Antares, by the way, is a notable star, also Alpha Scorpi, because it's the brightest star in Scorpius, and the 16th brightest star in the sky.
Also, what the fuck is that random thing floating in the middle of the card?
Claws. He's got
But
floating
it's not
claw
attached to
attachments.
anything.
Yeah, he's got little fin funnels, you know.
Oh, a fucking Gundam funnel.
Yeah,
God
he's got some Gundam shit because he is a robot. Allegedly, according to the wiki, this means he has 8 limbs because he's got 2 legs, 2 regular arms, 4 tiny arms, and then 2 Klaus. Yeah,
Yeah, this art
Antares
is
is
a
like
mess.
the artist tried really hard to make Antares cool and Scorpion-like, and just I think he tried a little too hard, unfortunately.
This art is bad in the same way bad Gundam designs are bad. It's
There's too
over designed
Yeah,
to
there's too
all
much shit
hell.
going on. There's way too much shit. Like, I like parts of this, but other parts are just, what the fuck? Like, why does
Yeah.
his weird scorpion tail laser hook just end at the other end?
The ribs kill any possibility of this design being okay for me.
Yeah,
That's just, that's not the best aesthetic.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of jank.
Yeah,
It also just looks
Awful.
anemic.
yeah, he's a very
Yeah,
skinny robot.
anorexic space like
Thank you, anorexic. That's
It's-
what I
it's Scorpion's anorexia phased.
So, Constellar Antares is another level 6 machine, 2400 attack, 900 defense, so it can punch up a Monarch. And then when this card is normal or special summoned, you can target a Constellar monster in your graveyard, add that target to your hand. So, not the worst, not the best either, but possible, and it does at least allow for special summoning, so you
He's
don't
a
have
level
to tribute
5,
this
right?
guy. 6.
Okay, no, I'm pretty sure he was played with the last guy, because if you tribute
Yeah.
the last guy, you can summon him, then get a card
Yeah,
back.
and you can make a 6, and you can recycle. Yeah, so it's not the worst card.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the 6s were played more than the 5s, from what I remember.
That might
Well,
follow.
typically because they'd be statted just a little bit better, in theory anyway.
Well, they just have better effects, because only...
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure, like, most of the tribute guys are okay, but there's one that's awful. And I can't remember which one it is.
Alright, and now we're going to talk about another one that I believe is...
This card also may have been broken in jank at some point. I can't tell, but anytime there's a card that does something on special summon, there's always a chance.
We're going to pull up another card, which actually I believe is fairly important to the deck. This is Constellar Chaos.
Yep.
Yeah, so
This is
I
the
want.
second best level 4 in the deck.
I do want to bring actually. So, I didn't know he was a centaur. Oh, he's a
Yeah, because he's Sagittarius.
I never knew that. I was dumb. But the resolution size on the cards I play were always
Yeah,
small.
no, it's
But,
it's fair.
But so he kind of makes or breaks your deck because he's the one you always want to be specialing off Algaidi.
Yeah.
But we'll get it- I'll
like
get into that
design-wise,
'cause-
I'm looking at this guy. Maybe it's just because I am a sucker for horse archers. I do actually think this design is okay.
Yeah, no, I'm.
I
like,
think the helmet is a bit much, but I think it's because the eyes just don't. I
I
feel
mean,
like better
as someone
than
who's
just
been
slits.
uber critical so far, this is the first design I haven't gotten eye cancer from. So
Yeah, he's doing a
Yeah.
pretty typical dynamic
I keep
pose.
exaggerating when you
He's
don't
got
need
the-
when you actually matter.
You know, the horse bits.
Like, it is very, very clearly clipped from the Grand Blue Fantasy Sagittarius boss. Like, not even close.
That was like, this was like 2013, 2014. Grand Blue was around 2012, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, this guy was printed
But
in
overall, like,
2013.
And those were probably both ripped off from something else, but overall, this is
probably.
good art.
I mean, you talked
like
about
the
the
bow.
Final Fantasy aesthetics earlier. That is another thing Final Fantasy is fucking obsessed with, is the Zodiac.
That's true.
It's another
Yeah, no,
very
this-
strongly recurring theme.
Yeah, no,
Especially
but
what
overall,
this-
like, yeah, no, this art is good. Like, I can't really complain that much.
I have weird feelings about like the horsetail being basically like a ribbon.
Yeah, it being
And
part of the cape is a
I-
little weird. I noticed that earlier, but
I
it's
like
still
the back cape though.
fairly all right. Yeah.
I like the
Uh,
back cape because it's like actually kind of cool because I weirdly image like these things are either there's no air in space, their capes always like are flittering.
Maybe I'm just
Yeah.
giving it more credit because of what we've had to deal with for the last 4 arcs.
I mean nothing's been terrible. It's all just been kind of
But,
Shush.
I disagree
Shush,
with you
cease.
entirely.
David was saying something. I'm waiting for you guys to shut the fuck up. David, what are you saying? David, you got it? Did David die? Did I die?
walked away. No, we're here. You're here, Vega.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, when he comes back, I'll ask him to continue that thought. In that case, more trivia. Kaus is based off of the stars specifically in the archer's bow. Kaus means bow in Arabic, and it's 3 stars actually normally. Kaus, Borealis, Media, and Australis. Top, middle,
Oh,
bottom.
cool.
So
I guess
yeah.
they are meant to be like based off how many stars are in them, but Cal's being a 4 is really important considering
Yeah.
what he does.
Well, he's got 3 pips in his bow, which is what we're going for, I
Yeah.
think.
I
So
like the bow too.
Yeah.
Considering how it's like.
so
but-
this
I
is
mean-
a. Go ahead.
As far as sci-fi bows go, it's okay. It's a little bit much for me.
It's space
I don't like
fantasy, yeah.
gold weaponry, but that's just... It's not... As far as gold bows go, it's not awful.
Okay. So this card is a level 4 light beast warrior again.
Makes more sense now.
Yeah,
considering I didn't know he had centaur legs.
1800 attack and 700 defense. Cannot be used as synchro material. First line of text. Always very important to read your cards.
There's
Well,
a
yeah,
reason for
it
that.
could be used
There
as
is a
super
reason for
material.
that.
Yes.
Okay.
Because its effect is up to twice per turn. You can target 1 constellar monster on the field and activate one of these effects, and it has 2 bullet points for increase its level by 1 or reduce its level by 1. So this guy is an inherent level fixing with up to twice per turn. A very rare use.
So,
3 or 5.
I want to bring up a thing about this. Of how like
Yeah.
this is the reason why you can run the rank 3 constellar cards in your deck whenever having to actually play any of the 3 stars.
Well, you do
Just
play
ha-
the 3. You do play one
I
of
mean,
the
you
3.
run some of them, but why you don't run a majority of them is because you have counts. Because you
I mean,
can
there's
just
2.
play. Yeah, there's
I mean,
and you
basically,
run 1.
Kaus, because Kaus has a level
Okay.
fix for exactly 1, and there is that combo with Algaini, that means you can much more flexibly
Yeah.
access your 5s and 3s.
No, I
Also
mean,
why-
Axe is just going in the wrong direction.
Let me finish. I did get to
No,
finish the whole point.
I was talking first.
I was.
Well, you were... Dallas is saying you lost your Taki Rock when you talked about 3s.
Yeah,
I had the whole point to go through, but okay.
well, it had nothing to do with 3s. That's my point. Like, you
I
don't
had the-
even run the.
I had the entire like. Oh my god.
You don't even run the 3xe in the deck. It's a bad card. The entire reason you do this is to get to. God, what the fuck's his name?
Ladies.
The ladies, yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
but
I
I mean, I
wanted to
can run
bring-
a list.
I wanted to bring up the point about how you can run 3s, you can run the 5s, and you can even run weird odd levels of having like a 2 or even a 6 because you can modulate it to be accordingly. So like you have a wider range where you can work it if you have cows, which is also why you ran Tenki.
It's also why you didn't have to run 5s because the 5s are bad.
And I think you've got that's a really good point as well, Axe, with the Tenki, because I don't.
Beast
I
Warrior
mean,
is
there are
good.
some. There's one of the constellars we haven't seen him yet. I don't remember which one it is, so we'll get to there. But one of them does let you search on normal, but normally you want to be summoning again on normal summoning. So something like Tenki makes a really good starter because you can just load this guy up in your deck.
I mean, Constellars are still fairly tricky because you need to draw out guidance basically
Yeah.
to make the deck work, but.
All right.
Yeah, having a Beast Warrior is better than not having a Beast Warrior.
Mhm.
Man, Tanky is good.
Yeah. I wonder if they're gonna. Is Tri-Brigade variant still fucking up the meta? Can they unlimit
No.
Tenki? Can we just
Tri-Brigade is doing
get
jack
rid of
shit
Revolt?
I mean, I would like to. I mean,
Just get rid of Tri-Brigade entirely.
No,
I don't
Tri-Brigade
mind
is
Tri-Brigade,
fine.
actually.
People are just tilted because you can revolt on your opponent's turn to make Shuriag who banishes.
I mean, I don't even think that's particularly broken.
No, that's
compared
not
to
really
this
OP.
meta.
It's just people don't like it because it's annoying. Because unless you pop back row, which nobody ever
People can
does.
suck my butt.
But we're gonna pull up our next one. You'll never guess from the name which constellation this one is. Because this is
I know,
Constellar Leonis.
Virgo.
No, that's a different Constellar, Dallas.
Oh, so this is one of the actual.
Look, we've already done Scorpio, and unfortunately for me, he wasn't that great.
No.
I don't think we've done mine yet.
The claw fingers are not that bad.
What's your zodiac sign, Dallas?
Aries.
No, I don't think we've done that one yet.
I haven't seen any Rams.
Or wait, wasn't that the dude with the barbecue stick? No, that was a fish.
No, that was
No, that was
Pisces.
Pisces.
Using Capricorn, so yeah.
I'm happy. I'm Sagittarius. So I'm happy
All right, no, I remember what Aries is. Aries is the funny one.
I'm happy that we got to do. I'm happy that Minus Cows. I actually like that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
I mean,
Sag-
I'm
of course you're
I'm
Sagittarius.
Algides, so
But this
I'm important.
guy,
but not impressive.
this guy is not overly designed, so I like him. He has the blue, the white. Just goes
Yeah, I'm
together.
not a. I'm
He's
not
a lion space knight.
I'm
That's
not
what he is.
100% sold on the laser fingers. It reminds me of
Like,
a
this character
particular
isn't-
mean the laser
particular
claws?
bad Star Wars character concept.
Whoa, what are you talking about?
Wait, what?
Oh,
You
do
talking
I
about
need?
Mega?
All right, y'all need to see.
I don't know this nonsense.
No, I know what you. Okay, unsarcastically, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, Dallas knows, but here for the guys in chat who don't know,
Oh, right, that guy.
The Star Wars Lady Deathstrike.
yeah,
The one that doesn't really look like the lightsaber, looks more like
Lord
God,
Nyax.
jet.
Looks like
There's
a bunch
one
of
of these
plasma
Going
buttons.
out of things.
Listen,
Look,
New Jedi Order was a weird time, guys.
As much as people love a lot of the EU, and I understand that, I do as well. Not all EU is created equal.
Yeah, listen, the late 90s were a really weird time for a lot of franchises. Okay.
Yeah.
Just focus on KOTOR. KOTOR was great. The Old Republic is great. Don't stare too deeply into the abyss of the E EU.
Yeah. That's where you find shit like this guy and Crystal Star. Anyway,
What
so
was
this
the-
is
what was the
Constellar.
weird incest fanfic story again?
Oh, I
Is
don't
that
remember
Crystal
this.
Star, or is
no,
that
no,
a
it's not
different
Crystal
one?
Star. Crystal Star is the one that reads like a Star Trek episode because there's literally a crystallizing star and there's an extra dimensional meat wall man.
Right, that one.
Not joking, by the way. Crystal Star is weird. Anyway, we're not here to talk about Star Wars. Other than, like I said, I am not a huge fan of Leonis's laser claws.
Yeah, it's very meh.
I mean, there's also the Jedi Hut.
That was another funny one because he's the swole Jedi. That's Planet of Twilight, I think. Anyway, Leonis. I like his vibes. He's got the blue and white. That's kind of a different color scheme.
Yeah. And I'm more of a fan of blue and silver myself, but
Yeah.
I don't know. The blue hair spikes seem off to me a little bit.
My finger lasers will get you. That's what this seems to
Sorry, one more Star Wars thing. There was also the time Yoda trained a cat. Not a cat race person, not a Cathar, just an actual cat
Oh,
to be a
actually,
Jedi.
Just like a house cat.
okay. Now I
I'll
know.
show you
Sorry
what
to
it looks
interrupt
like.
you there, David.
This is a Jedi.
Yeah.
Meow.
Oh. Side
That is a
note-
Jedi.
Is this
I
the cover
know.
of Jedi Prince, Dallas?
Okay.
I think so. It's
That's
Ikrit's, that thing.
Okay.
It's also New Jedi Order, of course it is.
Oh, it's
Okay.
Jedi Order cover. Okay.
Of
So,
course.
as a side note here, this reminds me of the Mega Man Star Force character.
I mean, I
Yeah.
wouldn't be shocked because
No,
again,
yeah, I can see
Constellations,
that, yeah.
Leo, Lion
I mean, he
Man.
I've
almost
not played- I've not
unironically
I've
looks.
not
yeah,
played
go ahead.
Star Force, but it looks like Star Force.
No, I can see
Hey,
that. I
look,
love the Star Wars.
As one of the, hey, Star Force is the only Mega Man series I've actually played.
That's
will say,
very funny because that's the only one because they did the fucking different versions at different retailers. I never got into that series.
So I've owned most of them. Like that trilogy was my childhood, and it also was where I think why I got into Toku, because it's basically just Mega Man.
Oh, I mean, yeah, no. Star Force is even more so than some parts of Battle Network.
Like a very childish.
Star Force is very Tokusatsu-esque. I just, like I said, it was on the DS, but they had different versions at different retailers, and I just never could get the one I wanted. Because I wanted Dragon, okay?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Capcom to be as smart about, like, somehow fucking Konami is able to do rebundles of old. I mean, I know there are glitches in the Castlevania bundles and stuff, but like at the very least they've made them, right? They sell you those products.
I mean, I'll give Konami the.
Well, yeah, Konami was the one who put forward the money for those companies to make the rebundles.
Yeah,
Konami's very good at trying to make money off of people.
Whereas, while Capcom has produced several Mega Man Legacy collections, they've never... I mean, I shouldn't be too mad. They did do Zero and ZX. That was cool. But seriously, where the fuck is my Battle Network collection and Star Force? Come on, man.
Yes,
Well,
please.
Battle Network has like 500 games in it. That's the other Mega Man series I've played.
Well, you can do
yeah,
6.
They usually do 2 versions for each battle.
Yeah,
network.
that was the big thing back in the day. We were really lost, by the way. Holy shit.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, you can
and
still...
Also
Because
there's some questionably designed Mega Man characters for one of the Battle Networks that I remember.
What I do want to say, though, really quickly, though, is they could do what they did with the... Because Nintendo was really weird, they did like promo versions of games, like they did Uprising. The DS version of 5, which was the only DS Battle Network game, because it just happened to come out, I guess. That just let you pick the 2 versions. Like you could pick Team Proto Man or Team Colonel, and then you had 2 save slots. So, and then they had the effect so you could synergize like the special trade and stuff. But. That's just how I assume you would build a legacy collection, where just when you click on the game, you pick.
I'll say this:
at
least, can I say the most bullshit split version game ever? Even though I actually like these games, it will still never get. No, it's Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages.
Oh, right. Yeah,
because to fight the final boss, you have to own both games.
Yeah, I remember that. I think I only owned. What was the red one?
Right.
Seasons.
Red one. Seasons.
No, Seasons.
Yeah.
Seasons.
Blue
I
is
own
Ages.
Seasons somewhere.
And to actually complete both those games, you have to do it 4 freaking times on each one.
Yeah,
yes. I'm so glad we've gotten over that.
Unironically, those are some of my favorite Zelda games, but the fact that you have to get both to get the ending is bullshit.
Yeah, considering just Lost Media.
No. We're not. Let's not go any deeper.
Yeah.
We're wrapping
I
up.
wanted to bring
Okay.
up the one last thing, but okay.
Okay.
I've tried to say it 3 times. It just
Well,
Star Force is weird that like the first 2 games are not a DS game; they're Game Boy games that just been on. But anyway, moving on.
I mean, they were definitely DS games.
No, but they.
Oh no, they were. I know what he's
The
saying.
hardware-wise,
built,
the way they were
They
designed.
were built to be to Game Boy games.
Game Boy games until
and
the
then
third one.
in the middle of their development, converted to DS games.
I mean, that's not that weird.
The third game's the best one because it's actually a D.
Anyway, this is Constellar Leonis. This guy just a cat, just a lion, not a man, because he's a level 3 light beast, not a beast warrior. You can't tanky this. It has 1,000 attack, 1,800 defense, and it says during your main phase you can normal summon 1 Constellar monster in addition to your normal summon set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. So this is another source of extra summons, especially with the normal summon. This means you can normal him, then normal, what's his face? Alresha? Yeah, Alresha. You can also get additional normals to get more guys on board. So this is another very important 3. In Archetype, when you get that extra normal summon, it's very important usually. And if you're curious, by the way, this card, the term Leonis is used just for the stars that are in the constellation Leo. It's not any specific ones. It's any. They're all called, Greek letter Leonis. I think we've said
Oh
our
my
piece
god!
about.
Sorry, Omega has ruined me for this stream.
No god.
We're just falling deeper down the hole.
He
Oh
he
god,
sent me on a-
chat's killing me. They call this guy Space Sonic.
I
Oh,
mean,
you just saw that?
you're
Yeah.
not wrong. But
I was
you.
talking to Dallas about Lord Nyax and stuff. Okay.
Oh, is that the dude that has the fucking like
Lightsaber knees?
laser
Yes.
The
Yeah.
fuck? Like that sounds awful.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. The
Okay.
Jedi Academy trilogy, Dallas. Kip
Yeah,
Duron of the
this-
Sun Crusher.
Wait, what the
one
fuck is
less.
this?
That's the Sun Crusher.
So,
He
no,
crushed
this
suns.
is a spaceship that begs the question:
Is that a giant?
Can an object be a Mary Sue?
Wait, can I ask one thing?
And I would
Is
argue
it-
yes.
Okay, I need to ask. Is that a giant trash can ship that swallows suns?
It fires
It does a lot of
supernova
things.
torpedoes.
It does a lot of. It
Why
does
is the
whatever
giant?
fuck the
Why
writer
is
wanted
it?
to
Why
do.
is the giant golden trash can the Deus Machina?
Well,
No, it's the
okay,
villain
much
ship.
much like Disney still had this problem with like Starkiller Base. That just shows you it's not new in Star Wars. The EU also had a horrible problem of escalation. It was
It can
so
take Death
bad.
Star lasers.
It was so bad. Like there was a period during, I think it was mostly the 80s and 90s before the prequel trilogy came out and kind of like refreshed Star Wars for better or worse. Shadows of the Empire also did that a little. But like a lot of time period for post-Empire after Zahn wrote the Thrawn trilogy, which doesn't involve super weapons at all, by the way. Well, I mean, it kind of does, but it's just...
I mean, it involves like super weapons that were lower scale than
yes,
the movies. so
Thrawn
it's fine.
technically does have an uber technology trick. He just cloaks asteroids and parks them in traffic lanes. It's just a really, really sci-fi version of sea mines. But
Basically.
It sounds effective for what it is.
yeah, no, I mean that was Thrawn's gimmick, was that he was like supposed to be like hyper competent for not a silver bullet man, but like very competent compared to a lot of other Imperial. But there were so many goddamn super weapons. The World Devastators, the Dark Saber, which is when the Hutts built a knockoff Death Star. There was the Death Star prototype, which was also, by the way, in the Jedi Academy trilogy with the Sun Crusher.
Yeah.
Which the prototype, Death Star prototype, was just it was the rough skin of the Death Star and the super laser assembly, but a lot less of the other facilities. I think it looks like a transparent beach ball. There's a lot of fucking super weapons all the time.
Yeah, no,
Oh, yeah,
the Sun
the,
Crusher's just hilarious because the only way they got rid of it was they literally flew it into a black hole.
Yeah, because
there's also the lovely super weapon, the Eye of Palpatine.
yes, the
Oh,
Eye of
God.
Palpatine, which by the way is from the novel where the character who later becomes Lord Nyax is from. He was one of the villains, and then he gets like giga brain damage or whatever, and I think his mom must put him on steroids or something.
You know, this is why I like the older Star Wars stories, because you get shit like that. Whereas Mark Aragnos is the hilarious Sith warrior because in a world of sci-fi technology, he just dresses like a wizard.
Oh yeah,
And
no,
everyone's very
the
surprised.
actual Tales of the Jedi KOTOR aesthetic is so crazy. Like
And then everyone's surprised when he literally. I love Mark Aragnos. He's just like he's this old man with a scepter and a wizard hat. But whenever anyone fights him, he literally snaps his wizard wizard staff in two, and it's a sword. And then he just stabs the shit out of them.
the staff of
It's
Mark
like-
Aragnos is a plot
I mean,
item.
as it turns out, like the biggest trick of Star Wars is just pretending something you're not, so you can get the surprise damage bonus.
Basically.
So this is Constellar Pollux.
Also, he had the best hat.
He's surprisingly. I forgot, is Castor in this too?
Yes, he's one half of the
Uh,
thing. I see the.
No,
Oh yeah,
'cause
it
it's-
is very happy. Yeah,
It's
it's no one
Evil
face,
Swarm
but-
caster, right?
I mean, I'm gonna guess this is Gemini.
yeah, this is Gemini. Obviously, it's Pollux.
Yeah. But I was like, it has a
It's half
aesthetic
of
of
the Death
halves,
Oh,
so
if it's Pollux, that would technically make it one half of Gemini.
Yes, technically
but
Gemini
that's
is
why
called
there's half of
twins,
it there.
but yeah, it's got the weird half thing.
I will say that one of the weirdest things, like, is Castor's the evil source. I guess it's the corrupted one, which is kind of on brand. I guess.
Yeah, Caster's just mirrored the other way. I think the lore thing is that they got into a punch-up with the Elswarm, and then Castor got 8. But this is Pollux. He's got a weird twin aesthetic. Some of these design elements you would see in some of the Zephyr cards later.
Yes.
I'm not a huge fan of it. Like it's a very weird contrast, right, to like the blank half of his face and then his weird golden pointy bit armor. Also, he's very pointy. Why is he so pointy? He has so many spikes. This is the good version, not the evil version.
I mean,
So-
I like the concept of this.
Yeah, I think conceptually it's okay. It's just there's
The
once again,
execution is.
there's a lot
It
of
looks like he's
extra
covered in
details.
frosting.
Yeah, that shade of white's probably not the best either. You're probably right. He is on
Or
brand.
he's an
wearing that weird
unfinished
April Stars.
Gunpla model. I can't tell which.
Yeah. The guy you assemble the Constellar Pollux kit, you only paint half it. The rest is still
Yeah,
still factory fresh.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah. That flat white does look a little flat.
Like,
Yeah. So it's a little weird.
like this is a bad art, but I at least give it more credit than some of the others because it is at least going full hog on the aesthetic.
It's trying very hard.
Oh.
Really? I don't hear anything out of Dallas anymore.
Oh, he's still
Is it
lighting up. Yeah, I just don't know what it was. It was like, what's that sound? And I'm just.
I think it was my
hearing
fan.
No, sorry about
I
that.
need to put a fan on
No,
it.
it's-
Anyway, Constellar Pollux is another level 4 warrior, light. 1700 attack, 600 defense. During the turn this card was normal summoned, you can normal summon one Constellar monster in addition to your normal summoner set. So it's not a continuous effect like Leonis, but still, this is yet another source of an extra normal, and this one is a 4. So
Yeah.
it's decent enough.
I mean, I don't think he was played just because, like, there are better options. Like,
Mhm.
Oh no, I guess he was played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, Pollux is also still one of the name of the stars in Gemini. Beta
Oh,
Geminorum.
I remember what Ares was.
I thought you remember what Ares was a while ago, but okay.
Yeah, no, I remember what they looked like.
All right. But do we have anything else to say about Pollux?
Pollux.
Not really.
No.
They went hard at the twin aesthetic, and it without the other card there with it, it just looks weird.
Yeah. Okay.
That's my opinion. It's like he's half finished.
Yeah, it's like I appreciate the aesthetics, but it's not good.
Unfortunately, a fair number, I'm not sure if it applies to this next one, but a fair number of Constellars seem like they have the classic Yu-Gi-Oh! Art problem of too much design. Like, the artist put a lot of effort into drawing all these details, and guess what? You don't fucking see them on these tiny-ass cards. Speaking of tiny-ass, this is Constellar Rasselhog.
Oh, Rasselhaug. Yeah.
Yes.
Tiny ass indeed. It's
So,
small.
this one is a interesting one because it is based on the star
Rasselhaug.
Ras Alhog or Alpha Ophiuchus.
Yeah.
Ophiuchus is, or the Snake Charmer, is an interesting symbol because it's not part of our conventional zodiac. Though there are some people who do actually go with it. And there was a Japanese version in 1995, which is very popular, which is why you will see Ophiuchus, or the Snake Charmer, or Serpentarius, just the snake, in a few games. Final Fantasy.
Okay,
Zodiac's the coolest.
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, this guy looks like the mascot of the Constellars.
Yeah,
He looks
I
like a
think that makes-
Metabot.
I think that makes sense, considering that he's kind of the odd guy out, right?
Yeah. And from the lore, apparently, he, along with Seraph Knight, revived both Pollux and Castor.
Seems fair. I mean,
After-
he does have a Caduceus. That's very interesting, considering that there is a later card literally called Constellar Caduceus. We'll get there when we get there. But he's got the Caduceus stick. Ophiuchus is very strongly associated with Asclepius.
I've
Uh,
started to notice that
yeah?
all of the Constellars have like the same visor in some degree.
Yeah, they've got a very similar helmet design, though obviously this one has a lot of extra bits. I don't think there's anything really wrong with Rasselhog.
He's like their tiny white maid.
Yeah. So it's interesting how he's got a lot more gold elements than the others, but I think it's a good change-up, right? I also think it's interesting how, aesthetics-wise, his staff is like the back half is like the same as Algaidi's staff. Interesting. All right. So Constellar Rasselhaug is a level 2 light spellcaster. You can tribute this card. Special summon one Constellar monster from your hand or graveyard in face-up defense position, except Rasselhaug. So Rasselhaug turns into a different Constellar so long as it's in your hand or graveyard. All right, nobody has any thoughts about that.
Yep.
I mean, he's not very good. Like,
Yeah, I think
trying, not-
honestly the
not using
graveyard
it.
effect is probably the best one because there aren't a lot of other cards that will like get them out of your graveyard. You know, a lot of
Yeah.
them have do an additional normal summon which has to be from your hand or special summon from the hand. So Rasselhaug can certainly be a way to get to guys who are already popped, but yeah, it's monsters that exist only to sack themselves are interesting. They're not always good, and they're especially usually better if they have a second effect. Take, for example, Blackstone of Legend, which you contribute to summon a Red Eyes, but also if it's in your graveyard, you can return it to your hand to shuffle, or yeah, you return it to your hand to shuffle the Red Eyes back. So like that has a recycling effect intrinsically. So this is okay.
it's a card.
I give it a firm. All right.
It exists.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's tiny.
It's not
it's
bad to
alright.
run as a
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's actively bad because it lets you do things you can't normally do, but it is not necessarily good neither.
I mean, it was never used.
All right. And now the time has come
So
for that one
have
Dallas
I.
has been teasing.
Yup.
This is Constellar Sheraton. He's got a gun!
Cheap man. No,
I mean, I like this design, but I'm biased.
Good.
It's also simple, which is something these designs
Yeah.
sorely need.
The name, by the way, is the traditional name of Sheraton, a.k.a. Beta Eritis.
He's the one you wish was easier to use, but he's good.
I mean, you still run him at 3.
I mean, yeah.
Well, yeah, he's your searcher, so you run him. But, yeah, design-wise, like Dallas said, it's simple. He's got the ram horns. He's got a gun, which is also ram horns, and then he's just a guy.
Gun.
I don't know why he has a space gun, but you know, again, the design is simple, to the point. Could be worse. Anything else? Anybody? I like, by the way, that we've been going for nearly an hour and a half, and not enough people have. There's been not enough comments in chat to even fill the text box all the way.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
probably-
Yeah,
there's
what
not a
if
lot
you
to
had that
comment.
long tirade about Star Wars?
He's just a
Not to lie.
dude.
I
with
feel
a
like that
sheep-
would make people more interested.
I will
it's a
say
dude
I
with a sheep
enjoy
head and a gun.
Cape. I think his cloak's actually really.
Yeah, this is actually one of the few times
I
where
still.
the trifold cape, I think, really works.
I also like the kind of bronze knee pad.
Well, yeah, his color is kind of a bronzy brown. They've all had
Like
The
different
But-
bronze
costumes, you know.
kneecap?
Okay, well,
Do
Oh,
not
damn it.
start us on it. You don't get to say about the Star Wars tirade and then bust out with a fucking Fairy Oddparents reference, buddy.
it shows bad.
Okay,
taste,
what
but,
thing
uh,
now? Have you
I-
seen the live action
no.
TV show?
No, I am
No,
trying not to
that's-
see those
that's
things.
not-
It's
I-
very bad.
I'm trying not
All
to
right,
perceive
moving
that.
on. I want to bring
Um,
up. I still don't like how the eyes and the visor look. It's still not
I mean,
good.
that is a theme with all of them.
Yeah, they're just they're cartoonized.
It's
in the
literally in all of them except for
I-
Pollux doesn't have eyes.
way. He's got an eye. No, it's in there. It's on his other half.
I mean, they're like this art doesn't do anything special, but I think it's the second best art we've seen
Yeah,
after
that's
Chaos.
yeah. That's Honestly, especially given some of the earlier Constellars being slightly more like goofy and exaggerated, when they keep it simple and these guys just exist, like that's a lot better. We don't explode.
It's like not great, but it's fucking
So
better.
Shiratan is a level 3 light beast, 700 attack, 1900 defense. They must assume you're gonna put. Well, I guess they do have that one guy who special summons in defense, but this wouldn't work because this guy's on normal summon effect. So I don't know. The defense and the attack stats are kind of weird on some of these guys. I'm not sure Konami was thinking that through. This effect is when normal summon, you can add a Constellar from your deck to your hand. So on normal, you search. Very standard effect, still very useful. Kind of limiting by being at normal only, but you know. He certainly exists.
He is a
Yes.
card.
There's nothing special to say.
I mean, he's good. He's a searcher. Searchers are good.
Yeah.
That's literally it.
It's one of the things. It's one of the problems of this. It's a good thing we have nothing to say about it because every other time we've talked about Constellar, it's like, why is this over designed or too much?
Yeah.
Kind of situation.
All right. Well, I suspect this card art will prompt some reactions.
Oh yeah.
This is
Oh.
Constellar Siat.
I remember him always being even weird when I.
So this is the mascot.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is Aquarius, I believe.
This is
Also,
little
apparently
one.
he's
Not
getting
Aquarius.
crunked.
Well, I mean, can you guess which zodiac sign this one is?
Bacchus.
That's not
No,
a
it's
constellation.
the two
you
waves.
Aquarius,
I think
Infinite
that's
Cup.
Aquarius.
Yes, it's Aquarius.
Yeah,
jug
I,
bearer.
I remember my Aquarius in Final Fantasy. Always with those water jugs.
Okay, I have some problems.
What's up? What's up, Dallas?
I have two problems. One, this looks like it approves of child drinking, and I am not there for that.
It's water.
It's bubbles.
Why is it so bubbly?
I don't
I don't
know.
know,
It's
it's-
magic space water.
It looks
magic
like
space
champagne. I can't. It's like it's gold and
Yeah, no.
sparkling.
I mean,
and
Dallas,
bubbly.
I will
This is
agree
this
with
is
you,
a you
Dallas. I
problem.
don't know why it's gold, but
No, it's good. I'm sorry. A gold, bubbly, sparkly liquid is either champagne or piss, and you can't convince me otherwise.
Okay.
Piss.
Carbonized water.
And champagne, and honestly, child drinking is a much more pleasant process than the other.
quiet you.
See,
Why do you have to come out of nowhere to make a complaint? You just always do this. You always.
oh my God! Stop bitching about me bitching. You bitch about me bitching more than I bitch.
Well, because
I mean,
No,
Dallas
that's
does have a
actually not
point.
true.
It is bubbly and it is yellow because that is this guy's color theme, not blue, which strikes me as odd. If there's some kind of lore or if there's an animation where like he actually, fires laser beams or acid out of his jug, that would make sense. In this context, considering this is supposed to be Aquarius, that is a little bit of a weird pick. Like, I know they all have different colors. Why does this guy have the bright golden yellow color scheme? It is a little unusual. I didn't really care about that because I'm busy looking at this guy go, I once caught a jug this big, but
But here's the thing: is it big or is he just very tiny?
I mean, it's still bigger than him. He's
I
just
think
saying
he's
he caught one
tiny.
that big. He is
Yeah.
small, yes. I mean, clearly, he's a level
he's
1.
also yeah.
By the way, the name, this is one of those weird transliteration things. The name of this star is usually, I assume that's Shiat or Skat, spelled S-Cheat, Delta Aquari.
I think it's hot.
Yeah, something like that. But it's spelled
Yeah.
S-Cheat, so
Yeah,
S-Cheat's
this
over
is-
here. It's got a weird transliteration into
This is
the way
one
it's
of those-
pronounced in Japanese is sheet. Shito.
Shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, this is one of those cards where they changed the anime appearance on field from the actual card in hand.
Yeah, I noticed that they look like they altered his color scheme a little bit, and
Meanwhile,
Put a cap on his bubbly.
the card in the hand looks entirely different in the anime.
yeah, they also made his cape the space effect, which is not what his card art looks like. It's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, Siat is obviously our mascot. It is a little weird. I mean, I don't know. He could be promoting Monster Energy drinks. I don't know. This is a level
I
1
would
light
argue
fairy.
drinking Monster Energy drinks is worse than drinking alcohol for children. but that's a
Dallas,
different
it's
topic.
not a child, it's a fairy. This is an angel. It's not a human
Well,
man.
they get the angels drunk.
Remember, they're all celestials.
Well,
or machines, or
honestly,
okay,
at this point, we
okay,
have more
Celestial as in-
beasts
okay.
and beast warriors.
Okay, let me finish. Celestials, as in like Marvel Celestials, as in they're just giant space.
well, no, they're not like
Giants.
Marvel Celestials because the Marvel Celestials are abstract concepts, so not actual things.
Anyway, this is a space angel, and if your opponent controls a monster and you control no monsters, you can special summon it from your hand. So it's got the Sidra effect, we talked about that earlier. Once per turn, you can target one constellar monster you control or in your graveyard. This card's level becomes that monster's level, but it can't be used as Exceed material except for the Exceed summon of a constellar monster. So,
So this card was decent at one point,
Mhm,
and then with another card's release became completely irrelevant.
yeah, Siat, for considering this is part of their first big wave of support, Siat starts as a fairly amazing card. It's a free special if you're going second, and it has an automatic level fix.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
The unfortunate part is, Constellars didn't really get played until they got their second wave of support. So I don't think Siat ever saw any play.
Yeah, I could see that. Because that was another thing, I don't think I mentioned this before, but I do not believe that Constellars were... we've had our own complaints about some of the members of the Xyz family. I don't think that Constellars themselves were huge movers and shakers in the meta.
There's one that was, but that card is in the second wave of support. And
And
also,
there's one. There's some
honestly, should be the card we talk about last, even including the Xyz. Because
and
it's
there were some four.
four.
I actually like the lineup for the Constellars. Like some of them are not that great.
I suspect
We'll
their
get there.
problem with the Constellars was they did that thing they do where they gave them a theme and somehow they did all 13 Zodiacs at once, and then
Well-
literally as by the fact that we're not to Constellar Caduceus yet, but he's called Constellar Caduceus, which I'm like, wait a minute, we already did Ophiuchus. What the fuck?
Oh my god, this is the one we should do last. Because of lore reasons.
I mean, technically not, because we still have the technical boy, Stellar Knight Constellar Diamond.
I mean, if we're doing him, then okay, we should do this before him because this is in,
Yeah. That's what I'm
this
saying.
is lore, dog lore.
Law.
Lore.
Where was I? I'm getting the art for the next one. Possibly the laziest named Constellar.
Oh, you know, definitely
Just Constellar Virgo.
Virgo. Why? Because fuck you. This card is ass cheeks, if I remember correctly.
I like their design though.
Yeah, I
Oh
don't
no,
know.
the design's fine.
I will say, in Japanese, they actually did this correctly because they called it Constellar, or Sacred, rather. Sacred Spica, which is the name of Alpha Virginis, the brightest star in Virgo.
So
I do not know why they did
is
not
it
call
wrong
it
if it looks
Spica.
like is it wrong to look like it looks like an Eldar?
No, this is Eldar, or what's the hyper-advanced
Protoss?
faction in Protoss? Yeah, that's another one.
I would say more Protoss than Eldar because it doesn't have enough spikes to be Eldar.
The
I
problem
mean,
is,
it
like,
depends
I was
on
blanking on the
what
I was
Eldar
blanking on the
path.
word Protoss until Omega asked. So
Yeah,
like,
no.
I said Eldar.
It's,
I couldn't remember.
this is a
Protoss.
Protoss. Like this is
Very
what
much
are those
Protoss.
things before you?
Like it's Tassadar or something. But then like
I mean, if you want
Yeah.
specific examples, I've never played a StarCraft game in my life, so I can't help
Same.
you.
Yeah.
Well, look, I haven't played StarCraft since it came out. It's the ones that are like in blue light that turn into the ones with red light.
But this is very
Archons?
much like that, yeah.
Yeah,
Archon?
My life for I don't know. I don't
you
even know
must
what.
construct additional pylons.
Well, oh yeah, no, actually, yes, Dallas, you are absolutely correct. This card in the face of Kaus, this card's effect-wise is useless. Design-wise, this is another one that's like, it's a little over-designed, but because it's fairly compact and simple, it's okay.
It's over-designed but cohesive.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
honestly, also the blue on all of the actual like focal points helps put it together.
I mean, I will
Also,
say,
it's
I do
not
feel
in
like
a
they've
weird
made a
mood.
weird choice here because we talked about Algaidi, right? Algaidi has a very feminine silhouette. I may just be assuming based on the
But-
design, but
it's a slender man to me.
yeah,
No, there's
to
a
me,
woman.
Virgo, like, again, hip-waist ratio, it looks like broad shoulders, narrow hips.
No, this is I don't know.
I will
I
say the one
got
thing.
feminine from this, but maybe I'm biased because of Virgo. Because isn't Virgo literally the Virgin?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
yeah. Virgo is a very feminine star sign.
Yeah, but
This doesn't give
Don't
me
think it-
super feminine
This-
vibes.
This gives me. Oh God, I'm gonna make a Dark Souls reference. This gives me Gwendolyn vibes.
I get that, but I don't. Actually, no. Yes. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, it's not
Like,
like
it is-
hyper masculine.
I'm not saying it's
little
like
dry.
bad or
Feminine,
good. I'm just saying it is very much like a conflicting. If you're gonna go with that, it has like you can look at it both ways.
Alright, this was a manga card.
Like it
And
has
it's
the thing of.
chibi.
Like it's the
Four.
thing of. It's a space priest. That has like.
No, this is a space angel.
Yeah, fair enough.
Also, it's
Yeah,
very.
this is what this is what Algaides is summoning.
I will also bring up the thing of. The best part of it is that because it has a visor over the eye, it has a thing over the eyes and like almost like a mouth slit. It actually has like a metallic face in a cool way.
Like this one looks the most like an out of the ones we've seen, the most like an angel.
Again, I think
yeah,
they-
considering that these are supposed to be like some kind of messianic archetype to come save the dual terminal universe, you are right. This definitely looks like it's coming
I
down.
kind of wish that a lot of the other constellars took notes from Virgo and that they actually had like head plates.
Yeah, I got it. You
Oh.
don't like the cartoon eyes.
Yeah. Well, I'm fine with it on the lower level, but I do kind of agree on the more higher level ones. It looks a bit silly.
Yeah, it's true. It's part of their, like I've said, a lot of these guys have like obvious Saturday morning cartoon vibes. Like, okay, shit, we need a cartoon to market toys. What's a good set of things so we can design a lot of characters? I don't know, the Zodiac. You know,
What's it called? Rasselhog, Sheridan, and Sion. I think we're fine because they're like tiny.
yeah.
But on some of the bigger ones, it
Once
does
you
look
get
a
to the
bit
freaky
silly.
fish dude, we talked about that. He looks a little weird.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
unfortunately, despite the fact that Virgo looks decent, like could even be seen as looking cool,
She's
you know.
bad.
Yeah, so remember how Dallas talked about how the level 5s aren't super good? So, Constellar Virgo is a level 5 light fairy, 2300 attack, 1600 defense. So not bad stats. It's bigger than one of the level 6s. Unfortunately, its effect is when normal summoned, you special a level 5 Constellar. Not level 5 or lower, level 5 Constellar. So this is the
Yeah.
level 5 version of
Yeah.
Algaidi and Aldebaran, right?
And
So-
to be clear, that is level 5 from hand.
Yes. And remember how we talked about Kaus? So Algaidi plus Kaus is literally the same thing you can do with Virgo, only you didn't have to
Yeah.
tribute summon.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, I think for making 5s, Virgo falls behind.
No, Virgo is never used. Like only one of the 5s was used like as a tech option in the side deck, and it was not Virgo.
And it's this guy probably with the cool name.
What's his name?
Well, let me get the art up so I can show the people at home. I can match the name
Get
to the
people
art because
going.
you guys are gonna.
Oh, I know what it is.
It's time.
That
Are
was-
you ready for Constellar Zubin Shmali?
Excuse me.
I
don't
remember
think that's
this
how you
guy.
pronounce that.
I remember trying to run this guy at a 1 because he did a thing, but
I mean, it's Zub N S C H Amali. Zubin Shamali.
that's why.
I'm very Anglo. I cannot go Zubin.
Well, it's also why I've never bothered saying his name because I could never get it right unless I looked at the name directly the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not gonna say I could memorize this, but
Its name in Japanese is just Eska, which is part of Zubin Eshmali? Eskmali? I don't know.
It's Zubena Shamali.
Yeah.
Gesundheit.
Which, Libra.
It's the Benne is enunciated because of things in Arabic.
Right. If I remember the dual.
Like my language is like
terminologies,
right
one
next
of
to
the
Arabic,
12,
so I at least know most of the pronouncing.
right.
Yeah.
Zubana Ashmali. The Northern Claw,
Yes.
which is awesome.
Right.
And funny because he's Libra.
Yeah.
And the traditional name is the same name as Beta Libre, which is sometimes Beta Libre is referred to as looking greenish, so he has green highlights.
Mhm.
So,
yeah,
you know,
no,
fun astronomy facts.
I'm gonna side with the board farmer. Holy shit, I hate this art.
Oh yeah, no, this guy is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why does he have sexy boots?
He's got high-heeled boots and like long noodle legs, but very clear skeleton robot claw hands. He's got one regular eye, and then he got like punched in the face, so he's got like an angry green Terminator eye. Why does he also? Why does he have a keychain hook on his head?
Why are there like
okay,
eight
that's part of
aesthetics
the.
in
I
this
think
thing?
that's part of the scale.
I guess, but it looks silly.
It doesn't make it less dumb.
It does
Why does his hands look like whisks?
because it's
Klaus.
because
Yeah, I was gonna say
it's-
that's
Oh
my
right,
question.
yeah. I didn't think it was a scale until you actually brought it up.
I mean,
was
he's
like,
Libra, yeah.
It is the scale, like, but like then unfolded into a robot.
That's really stupid.
Yeah,
not
it's not.
good.
Listen,
Yeah.
I know Libra. Speaking from a guy who like writes fantasy bullshit in his spare time, and I wrote
I enjoy that fantasy bullshit.
I wrote a non-serious fantasy setting for an RPG where I themed all my stuff off of constellations. I understand. Libra can be hard. It's not that hard. Make it a chick holding a scale and she beats people up with it. It's
Have it literally be like an Angel Justice lady.
Or
Yeah.
just have it be a dude holding a staff that has scales on it.
yeah. Which is what the Final Fantasy
I mean-
version is. It's just it's an old dude chilling on a giant scale, and if
I'll
you're playing
post
12, he
this
throws meteors at you.
because, sorry, I rep this. I rep this Kamen Rider hard, but this is what the Libra design for Kamen Rider is.
Yeah, that's fairly
yeah,
Libra
I
and
think I
fairly
vaguely
Kamen Rider.
I think I saw bits and pieces of that.
Look,
Yeah.
it's Forza. Forza is my
Yeah.
favorite.
Yeah,
I'll
so,
be very biased here.
Now,
Works also-
Not as good as Virgo's design, but
Estra here,
Still good.
Constellar Z-Man, is the other level 5.
yeah.
He has, I think these are exactly side your stats. It's a level 5 light machine, 2100 attack, 1400 defense. When this card is normal or special, add a Constellar from your deck to your hand. Why the fuck they put, I mean, it's also on special, but why the fuck they put a searcher effect on a tribute monster?
I mean,
don't know.
it's not awful, but there's
But it
no
could be
reason
better.
to run this over Sheridan.
I would also say, if you need 5s, you could literally just run Sidra.
Yeah,
Like,
'cause
that's
the
an
thing is,
inherent
like,
special level 5 light machine.
That
yeah,
or
and spoilers for a little bit, but
Solar Rider?
the level 5 Constellar
Exceeds?
motherfucker.
Rank
Exceeds, thank you.
Yeah, the rank 5.
Is
Blighted.
not generic, but is light, which also hits Sidra.
Yeah.
Or artifacts, which was actually a deck.
Yeah, no, it's just... unfortunately, I do not think that effect-wise, Jibana Shamali does enough to make him worth it. You can literally, like I said, you can literally replace him with Sidra and you'll have a better 5.
Yeah, no, he's awful.
So now let's go into the Xyz, because that was Z. So we're going to the extra deck. There's 4 of these in the first batch.
And most of them are amazing, and then one sucks.
We will start with the rank 3, because that is also alphabetically the first. This is...
Oh god, this art.
Constellar Hyades.
This is Rob Liefeld special of crotch thrusting.
Okay, so I have one thing to point out
Yeah,
All right,
before
David.
anything else. Why is the space behind it negative?
because Xyz.
Oh, is that how that works? Okay.
Because dark matter.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, Xyzes are supposed to be like antimatter or alternate universes. That's why they have rank stars that are, black and gold as opposed to orange and
It's
gold.
meant to be like it's like the convergence of.
What are
colors kind
these?
of
What?
thing.
These are the worst daggers ever
Oh
designed.
yeah, no, he's got giant kunai knives, which is so weird because he is not a ninja.
But also, they're just from a design standpoint, they're awful.
Oh yeah, no.
No, that's fair. I like the cloak bits
Mhm.
and the actual like.
Yeah, the
armor.
actual use of the space cloak, which is an effect the anime reused for other monsters, is good.
I also like the
Uh,
Taurus helmet, but that also because it reminds me of like an actual like Taurus character from Star Force.
Oh,
who
I
has
have a
the
problem.
I mean,
I have a
it's-
problem with the armor,
I mean, the armor is just judge armor from Final Fantasy.
the legs, the feet specifically.
Yeah, he's got some weird extra joints in his feet.
Why are his
I
feet,
don't know
like,
what to tell you there. I can't understand what's going on.
Yeah, it's weird. But also once again, this is just Judge Armor for Final Fantasy.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
I don't know judges that well, but yeah.
This is Final Fantasy 1. Like, very. I'm pretty sure. Wait, this actually just looks like a recolor of what's his face.
Why didn't I have to-
Hey, no. Garland looks much better than this.
No, not Garland. Have you played Final Fantasy 1?
It's
Well,
Garland
no,
or
but I
Chaos.
know of it.
Like,
Yeah.
Garland's a stooge dude. He's like general guy.
Who are you thinking of then?
I can't remember. No, I'm
Yeah.
saying
I think it's one.
Garland's stooge.
That's
I
what
can't
I was.
remember his
That's
name.
what I thought Omega
I
was.
think it's
referring
Tactics
to.
one.
Maybe.
Was
I
yeah.
haven't played
'cause
this game.
The tactics judges borrow from the
no, the
other way
Tactics came
around.
first.
I think
Yeah,
the Final Fantasy 12 judges borrowed from the tactics.
yeah, because
judge
that's
design.
all Evilise.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
this does look like Judge Armor. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I for the people at home, just look up, the Arcadian Judge Armor. I picked the swag shot of them walking together. Images you can hear, or at least that Omega can hear.
I was
because
also
will-
thinking of the dude from Final Fantasy 12, Darth Vader. Can't remember his name.
Oh, Judge Gabran.
It's a,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gabron.
you mean the guy right there in the middle of the shot that
Yeah,
Omega
middle boy.
posted?
Yeah, he's
Oh,
the
yeah.
guy in the middle there.
Sorry, I was not live, so.
These
Oh,
judges
you
look
meant-
like these judges look like they're assholes, but like they're gonna kick your ass like 6 times where you even get to.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think you fight
Spoiler alert.
3 or 4 of them.
Spoiler alert. They do.
Wait, you don't get to fight all of them?
No. Some of them get team killed by the other ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, they're all
You
Sith.
don't-
Okay,
you don't
they're all
fight
Sith.
all
Okay.
of them, but the ones that you do fight, I remember being pains in the.
I derisively and lovingly call Star Wars or Final Fantasy 12 just Star Wars.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh, yeah, no.
We all know that Final Fantasy loves Star Wars because they have characters named Biggs and Wedge on the reg. But
Well, Final
12
Fantasy
is
literally-
very
12 is
strongly, very
literally-
strongly Star Wars inspired. Only
it's not
it's
even
their version of
fighting.
the Wookiee is a buddy girl.
Well,
Yes.
it's also their version
It's
of
sexy
space.
rabbit.
It's their version of space fantasy. It's more
Oh yeah,
fantasy
no.
than space.
But
Stupid
I
sexy
will not.
Chewbacca.
We don't need to harp on
I mean, Fran's pretty nice. Yeah, Fran.
12
Yeah, no, that's the joke.
Yeah,
being cool, but like.
that is pretty
Hyades, here we go. Named, by the way, after the Hyades star cluster, which is located in Taurus, which is
explains
presumably
it all.
why he is, more that way, though it is a star cluster. By the way, the Hyades are the nearest star cluster to our system. so
Actually,
it's pretty
wait.
funny.
I think all of the Xyz are based off cluster, which is
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Because,
Which
spoilers,
perhaps we
one
don't
of them is
have Xyz, yeah.
Pleiades.
well, yeah. Play, that's why I think like, I remember doing a bunch of like astronomy things.
So,
Hey, can we do Omega? Can I make a request?
Sure.
Could we do them in ascending level order instead of alphabetically?
you mean
Yeah, I
rank?
can switch them up. I think that's mostly
Or you
just switching a
put,
couple of cards.
It's just switching Pleiades down one.
Yeah, we'll do Presepe. Presepe?
Yeah, it'd be Omega, then Persepe.
Well, yeah, Omega doesn't come out for a while, buddy.
I mean, but okay.
That's the second wave of support. That's like a couple years later. Actually, no, it's
I mean,
only like a month, but it's Lord of Attack on Galaxy. That's the second batch. Remember,
Yeah, but Omega is like. We should still talk about Omega in this wave of Xyz.
okay, Dallas, then that's all one wave. There's literally just this.
Well, then there's also the Constellar Diamond. Didn't you want to talk about that?
Okay, that's a couple years. Anyway, it's a separate set, is Omega.
Let's
I will
just-
continue to do
Trust
this
me
in the
that-
manner I have done most of this. Let's talk about Hyades. Because we still haven't actually talked about him. This is a rank 3 light beast warrior. He requires 2 level 3 light monsters, so it's attribute locked, not type locked. So you can use substitutes if you need to. Once per turn, you can detach an Exceed material from this card, change all your monsters your opponent controls to face-up defense position. So this can flip up monsters you don't know what they are, or it can put them in defense position.
It has
This-
a use.
It has 1900 attack, so a lot of monsters have lower defense than attack anyway. It has a utility. I don't think it's the killer app, but it is.
It's very bad in comparison to 2 of them.
I will say right now, it's a fucking dead ass card because it does not solve links. But we do not need to go into yet another argument about how links fuck everything up.
Well, it's not even just that. It's like even when this card was never played ever. Because, spoiler, two of the first wave of Xyz cards are great, and it's neither of them are this card.
And it's not going to be the next one either, because...
No, Persepe is the black sheep of the family.
This is one of the ones that is straight up archetype locked. It requires you to be playing exactly Constellars.
I remember playing him in my console.
Well, we're in a limited format. This
Yeah.
card is ass.
So let us pull up the card art. So we're doing the Nega thing again. You know, you got a couple different claw hands.
Also, its design is...
It's doing the fucking torso thing again. He's at like a 90-degree angle. I don't like it.
It's a Gundam card.
I was about to say, this guy looks like an over-designed Mega Evolution Digimon.
That's also true.
I'm trying to think about, but it's like I think it's Occupants and then something else.
Well, it's probably a couple of them. It is a machine itself, so probably a couple of the machines. Like
Might be all with all the
Scorpio?
gold bits. Yeah.
No, you know what this looks like? This looks like Utopia's like blinged out cousin.
This is verging on Utopia Sona, yes.
Utopia Sunny.
This is a big white and gold man with huge shoulders. But also, again, like I said, the fucking... I can't stop staring at his torso. He's like literally bent at 90 degrees. And yes, I understand he's a robot,
the
but please
floating
stop.
magical bees.
Yeah, I believe that Antares is part of this guy.
Oh god, I hate this art.
I also
The more I
don't-
look at it, the more I hate this art.
Chat, what's going on here? What's going on? What's he doing?
Take noses.
I think they're probably supposed to be like lasers or missile launchers, but they
Also, making a
Wait,
callback
no!
to earlier.
they're fucking hexes. He's got beehives on his shoulders. What the fuck?
Also, making a callback to earlier. This guy quite literally stole Gwendolyn's hat.
Actually, no, I'm not joking. Those are literal beehives. You want to know what his Japanese name is? Sacred Beehive. That's fucking lame.
That's even worse.
Yeah, so he is named after one of a star cluster, Persepe, which is the Beehive star cluster, which is in Cancer. So,
Of course.
Okay, that's actually.
It all makes sense now.
so
God,
he's
this
related
art
to
is
Akubens.
awful.
That I know that it's
I've never
in
seen the
Cancer.
art up this close. Up a real few.
I know that
I
it's
think it
in
was just
Cancer,
that.
but you could have definitely picked cooler. You could have picked cooler star clusters than Beehive, y'all.
I mean, you could have done a cooler bee-themed dude.
Probably. And this is just a guy who has beehives on his back and the claws from Akubens. I don't know what we're
Like,
doing.
design him like Candyman. Make bees coming out of him.
So this is a rank 4 machine exceeds 2400 attack, 1800 or not 1800, 800 defense. 2 level 4 Constellar monsters. Once per turn
Yeah, this
during the
one's
damage
Xenon
step of
locked.
either player's turn.
Yeah.
When a Constellar monster you control is attacking or being attacked, you can detach 1 Exceed material from this card. That monster gains 1k attack until the end phase. Yeah,
It's not very good.
No. Unfortunately, once again, there's another card that does this better. You can just play Honest. All your monsters are light.
Yeah.
Honest is a level 4.
Constellar Dex did.
Yeah. And Honest is a better version of this effect. It doesn't require you to go into a guy. Like you could make other generic rank 4s that would probably serve you better than Persepe.
Appreciate it.
And I am fairly confident it is actually Persepe because it's Latin.
Oh no, yeah, no. This one's definitely Latin. You can hear the spaghetti in it.
And then let me just make sure. Oops, nope, that's...
Sorry, I've been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed lately, and I just
It's your toy.
that game is so Italian.
And somehow not that Italian, though.
No.
Well, I mean,
Brotherhood is very Italian.
It tries to be very Italian. I don't know if they fixed that in later games, but I do remember they had issues with the grammar of the actual Italian language.
That's true, but there's also a scene where Desmond, the modern character, goes up to a statue and goes, "Oh, fuck you!"
Yeah, I remember that.
And then everyone immediately calls him racist.
Remember when Assassin's Creed was cool, guys?
I like the modern Assassin's Creed, but man, they let the plot.
They
You know what
just,
the death auto tangent? You know what the death knell for any story writing is? When you finish the second major arc of your story in a comic book, that's the death knell.
So you mentioned this guy. This is Pleiades.
Yeah, this you've seen this guy before in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, you've seen this man.
Yeah, this is one of the most used rank 5 cards ever played.
Yeah,
I think I got
it's the
abandoned our format
second-
because I used it too well.
for its own merits or for going into bullshit.
No, for its own merits.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a it's any two light rank
bounce.
5s. Hey, guess what? That's all.
He's
There's
also-
already an archetype that does that, and then you can do that very easily in this archetype.
So, just
Omega,
to tell you, this is a 2500 that has a quick effect bounce.
Omega, there's a lot of archetypes that do that.
Artifacts weren't out yet, but they did come around. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Artifact, Sidra, you could.
Yeah, I mean,
It would be
Sidra
more
you generally
difficult.
wouldn't because you have a better option.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Yeah, no, that's what I was asking about. Was this the one that they abused to go into?
no, that's a Satella Knight.
Oh, okay, that's a Sutta.
Yeah.
Pleiades is good. It's a good rank 5.
Yes.
It's like
Pleiades,
on a
by the way,
list
named
of
after
best
the
rank
Pleiades, the
fives-
Seven Sisters.
yeah.
Star
Honestly, on a
Taurus.
list of best rank 5s, I'd probably put it like number 4, even. And
I like this bit of trivia. It is funny. Despite the Pleiades star cluster itself having Seven Sisters as an alternate name, consider Pleiades as male. Thank
Like-
you, Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki.
Oh, that makes.
God, the Yu-Gi-Oh wiki. Have you? Speaking of that, have you seen the new MVT video?
I
yeah.
did not
Yes.
actually watch his top 10
Oh,
female
you
cards.
need to see it.
Okay,
It
I'll watch
makes
it.
me-
I
No,
was
it
mostly.
literally-
I'm just waiting for bated breath for MBT to play to post more Apollo Justice videos.
No,
but-
he literally just spent the first 5 minutes taking the piss out of the Yu-Gi-Oh wiki. It's so
But
good.
Yugipedia has edited that page to be much simpler now, almost assuredly because MBT called it the fuck
Because
out.
MVT ripped their balls out.
Yeah. Now it just refers to the few times that like the manga and anime has used the gender of cards, like old school Zombie Stein.
Or when
Yeah.
it's very, very obvious, like Trick Stars.
Yes.
Or like, yeah.
No, it's
when you're
literally
picking
the
that
stripped down
card.
version is just like my Shadow of Eyes card, which turns males into attack mode, shit like that, right? Some old video
yeah.
games working like that. It's very cut down. Anyway, Pleiades art-wise, not a lot to say. He's a Night Boy. I like the space capes. I don't know what his weapon is, but it's okay.
It's a sword that weirdly has like its crossguard is now just weirdly like almost like an halberd end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is doing some big pointing energy, which I like.
He is Space General. He is the Space General.
No, yeah. According
I mean, I'm
to,
pretty sure given his effect, what he's doing is, you return to the hand.
According to Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki, he is the.
He's
this is
wormholing
the,
people.
Pleiades is the 4th most used rank 5, and I'm not sure how much the first 2 count.
Which
which
are-
Because
ones
there's
are they?
Cyber Dragon Nova, which was used to go into a rank 6.
Yeah.
And Utopia the Lightning, which is gone from a rank 4.
Yeah, you don't
So
actually.
basically, other than Volcasaurus, he is the most used rank 5.
Yeah, seems fair.
they're both good.
You putting on him pointing just makes me think of this gif.
No, I love this art.
Why is that tiny?
I should say, this is my favorite art for the Constellars.
Yeah, this is pretty
Well,
good. The detail,
Aside from one.
like,
but-
he has a lot of details, but they're not overbearing. And most of them at least make thematic sense. Like, he has 7 spikes if you count his his hat is 1 spike, and then he's got 6 spikes with 3 on each shoulder.
Yeah.
7 sisters, got it. Alternatively,
Well, no, he
he's
has the
double
3
spike,
on each shoulder and then 1 on his wrist.
Yeah.
I think is what it's going for.
But it's still, he has a lot of spikes, he's got a lot of stuff going on, but he's not, like, crazy good. He's doing the visor thing X talked about, which is better for some of their higher level guys,
They don't show
I
his
really like the
feet, so they
helmet.
can't fuck it up.
Yeah.
Actually, it reminds me some of like the helmets in Infinity Blade. And those actually had.
He's
Nice,
using
nice.
he's using a double. Honestly, he looks like a Soul Calibur character.
Yeah, I could see
Kind
that.
of, yeah.
A soul
He's using
desires
like
a
it-
sword, and a
makes me
sword
think of-
desires
It makes me think of
truth.
Infinity Blade, but most people don't know what that is.
A tale
No,
of
man,
souls
I
and
is a
swords,
sandwich.
eternally retold.
Infinity
The
Blade
Soul
was
Calibur announcer is great, y'all.
it's the second best announcer in any fighting game, and I will fight you over that.
I am not going to start any fights with
Why
anyone
would
over
we
fighting
fight you over
games.
that?
Hold
That's
on,
why
I
I
gotta
put.
step away
That's
for a
why
sec.
I made a special jail to put fighting games in.
Is it a jail?
Yeah, we kind of had
Is
to.
it a jail and not just a courtyard?
I mean,
Well,
it's not really a jail. It's more like a self quarantine. I asked them if they wanted to go in the hole, and they were like, "Yes, sir. Please dig the hole." And I'm like, "Okay."
But it's
to be fair,
those friends are not holes though. They're just
the best announcer really only says one word that matters.
Fight?
fatality.
Finish him.
I knew that
that's
would
two
be
words.
Dallas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what
It's-
Pleiades does. Pleiades is a rank 5 light warrior. It requires 2 level 5 light monsters, as we discussed. And once returned as a quick effect, Compulse. You detach one material, target one card on the field, return it.
Compulse got limited.
Yeah.
This is a quick effect of Compulse.
Yes. And
End-
yes,
end of-
Axe is
end of
correct.
statement.
This guy actually hit our ban list in Prague because he
Yeah.
is a quick effect bounce, and he can do it twice before he runs out of mats. So it's
I could use it. I made use of them.
yeah, it's it's a pretty decent effect.
Yeah, no, this guy is what we might call swag.
All right. He definitely goes to sleep and wakes up covered in bitches. That is correct, Dallas.
Yeah.
He forgot to turn his swag off. So we got also another interestingly named one, which is, by the way, in there. This is actually what they call it, which is funny. Actually, the Japanese version is even more direct.
Goofy.
Yeah. I understand why they compacted it down for the TCG because the OCG went too far. But this is Constellar Ptolemy M7. Space Dragon.
I mean, M7
It's-
as in like the 7th cluster. Yeah,
It's a
M7.
space
is-
Well,
dragon.
so in Japanese, its full name is Sacred Ptolemy Messier 7, as in the Star Cluster Messier 7.
Okay, I have
mean-
a problem.
I mean, yeah, there are like over 50 Messiers, so
Yes.
I don't remember. Yeah, so it's
Uh,
like
well-
calling it M7 fits.
Yes.
But,
Why
like,
does he have a
it
front
doesn't mean
tail?
anything unless you know how like classify stars.
Oh, yeah, okay. I thought that was just the tail going back. No, you're right. He has 2
No,
tails.
that's the front
weird.
tail.
That's weird. Don't
He
do
has
that.
a dick. This dragon has a dick. It's a dick. What do you want me
Yeah,
to say? It's a dick.
it's a
I
I
very-
mean, no.
very
It hangs down from his chest, Dallas. It's not necessarily
I know,
a
and
penis.
when-
Weirdly
when he
enough,
puts
I
his-
think it's because
when
I
he
can
puts his
see.
arms on the ground, where would that be positioned, Omega?
I mean, it comes out at that end.
This
Yes.
is a quadrupedal man. That is,
Yeah. I
is
agree.
dick.
That is weird.
So the weirdest thing is how I imaged it was that like he's like torso disconnected, and it was the thing that connect like it like
Let's
latched.
see.
No.
he has a
that's-
dragon dick.
Yeah. It could be
Bed
worse.
Constellar bed dragon.
Oh,
Okay.
no, no.
I'm
At
done.
least the anime took that out.
So he doesn't. He kind of has head
Yeah,
wings.
they're like, nope,
That's
we're not
another
doing
weird
a dick.
thing. I think it's just like aesthetically, they've got his wings just float behind him, so they look kind of like they're up by his head.
I'm fine
Well,
with
they're
that.
connected to his neck. No,
I mean,
that's okay.
he looks
that's an
better
aesthetic.
than the Felgrand retrain, but that's not saying a lot.
There's parts of this that are a little weird. I mean, I think this is just all of the armors of the Constellars Voltron together.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. Other than the dick, I have no problems with this art.
Alternatively, he looks like that because this is the Ptolemy cluster is in Scorpius. It's also called.
No, I understand, and
6475.
and that's why he has the scorpion spear as a tail.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they also needed the dick one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. So no, this is by the way, I was right. This is all of them Voltron together, except for Caster, who got 8 by Elswarm, Sombre, because that was Gemini Lazuli plus this guy,
And that's also later.
and
believe.
Rasselhog, who became Gishki Zealgigas, by the way.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Which, if you know anything about like Cthulhu adjacent lore, is very funny.
Oh, I mean, there's a lot of funny stuff. I meant, what's his face? Libra. I'm not even gonna bother anymore. That's very funny
Yeah.
because I've actually read some of the stuff about Beta Libre because it's green is actually also because the star old Tulu slipped down from was supposed to be green. The green star is Zoth with an X. There's a lot of funny stuff there. But yeah, Ptolemy 7 he's a space dragon, space robot dragon. He is a machine, but he's a space dragon. Is a rank 6 light machine monster with 2,700 attack, 2k defense. Any 2 level 6 monsters, perfectly generic level 6, rank 6. You can also Xyz summon this card by using a Constellar Xyz monster you control as material other than M7, transfer materials. So, he's a free rank up if you're playing Constellars. If summoned this way, the following effect cannot be activated this turn. Once per turn, detach 1 material from this card, target a monster on this field, or in either graveyard, return it to the hand. So,
more compulse.
Yeah, it's not a quick effect, so it's not as good as Pleiades, but it also lets you return from graveyard, so it can give you recycling, or if you know your opponent has a powerful combo piece in their graveyard they're going to use on their turn, perhaps. For instance, if some card, a monster, has an effect that says, while this card is in your graveyard, not the turn it was sent there, you can just be like, yeet.
Ptolemy is also good because I believe it's just generic rank 6.
Yes, it is just 6. It's similar to this card design is very similar to Beatrice. You can
Ptolemy
make it by ranking up,
or
you can just make it 6s.
Ptolemy and Omega Ptolemy and Pleiades are very good.
Yeah.
Whereas the other 2 aren't.
Yeah. Well, and as usual, they have the factor of being reasonably generic. This one is purely generic.
Basically, for a Xyz to be good when it's not generic, the effect has to be it has to be something like Evil Storm Ophion, where the effect is very good.
Hold on, is this? Sorry, I gotta do some fucking forensic science.
Trying to figure out when a certain thing is coming?
No. I'm just wondering why there are 2 card arts for Constellar Meteor.
Constellar what?
Meteor. It's a spell trap. It is a trap specifically. I wanted to bring it up because it's got it's one of the few cards that shows clearly plot stuff happening. I think it's because it has Marrowgeist in it, and she has some like boob lights in the Japanese card art that they decided to edit out. Here, I'll show you guys.
Okay,
because this is all in the first wave as well.
Okay, can I point out? I'm so jealous of German Yu-Gi-Oh players because I just looked up what the Constellars are called in German.
Yeah, what is it?
Sternscheichenklunder.
Okay, so
Or Kundra.
just double checking the things. Caster's attacking Cyclone.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Gishki Cyclone, and then Caster attacks, and you can see the little Elswarm symbol. So this is where Caster gets got.
yeah,
Though I do believe we talked about this in the Gishki, he does manage to bonk Noelia strong enough on the head that she actually realizes something has gone wrong here.
yeah.
Like, oh fuck.
It's like
I believe I have miscalculated.
why have I been doing this the whole entire time?
What have I been fighting for?
Like, effect-wise, this card is not super important.
No.
It's a trap card where basically during the turn this card is activated if an opponent's monster battles a Constellar and that monster is not destroyed. Shuffle it into the deck at the end of the damage step, which would be spicy, but you can just not attack.
Yep.
It's not the super best assist. Much like a lot of, as we've discussed, not a lot of Constellar spell traps are super great. The best one is the one that lets you draw 1 when you Xyz, and it's a soft once per turn, sopped, so you can, draw a couple of cards. But yeah, so that was all of their cards after 2 hours.
Except for 2.
All of their cards that were dumped in the initial wave. All those cards we talked about were in Hidden Arsenal 7. And then in a couple of other sides, not side sets, core sets, a couple in Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy, and then one somewhere else. They did a few of these. Yeah, this was
I
Tachyon.
apologize for having to step away again. What card is this? This actually looks kind of...
Oh, this is Constellar Meteor, which is...
Constellar
it's just
Meteor.
it's the
Yeah.
plot card.
yeah,
I was
caster
gonna say, this
slaps.
looks like this has things
Cyclone.
going on in it that I...
Which,
will
yeah,
look up on
unfortunately,
the
not a
trigger.
lot of the other Constellar spell traps do. I have looked at them. Mostly
No.
they are just Constellars with light beams doing things.
Yeah.
Okay, so when technically did
Light
this boy come
beam.
out? Yeah, this is the Secret of Evolution, so that comes out later. So, let's... I mean, it's only a couple of cards. We'll do this in my normal way. So we're going to start with the next main deck monster, another 4 that popped out in Lords of the Tachyon Galaxy. Which does defy our naming convention a little for obvious reasons that if you were here last week, you should realize.
Is this Omega?
This
Maybe we should
is...
do-
No, this is Patrick.
No,
Okay.
it doesn't matter that much. No, not you. I'm talking to Dallas. He really wants to do Sombre last, but no, it's fine.
I mean, okay.
It's Sombre, because she's main deck. We do the Xyz later, because it's the play style. Again,
Make my
aesthetically, though,
helmet a
you should be able to tell what's going on here.
This is Gemknight Lazuli with all the powers
Yes.
of all the Constellars.
Yeah, so not even Ptolemy was big enough and bad enough to defeat Sophia or anything. So he had to get he had to fuse with a tiny rock girl and become even more ultimate.
Yeah, it was Evil Swarm, Kirkion, and Constellar Sombre that defeated Sophia,
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah. Oh.
which is
Yeah.
again very interesting considering this is a level 4 main deck monster.
Yeah. So
Uh,
those two.
By the way, if you're curious, the naming convention I mentioned this. I think I mentioned this on mic, but it's the Sombrero Galaxy.
I think it might. It also has like the negative space markers from like the Xyz.
Yeah, it's got
On
the
it.
same visual effects as the Xyz. It's just
I'm trying.
this is
to
a case
remember-
where I think Konami went with the utility of needing actual support in main deck rather than giving them a new boss monster.
I kind of think of the thing of like it might be a weird mix of the effect is important, but it also has like it implies a narrative thing.
Well, also, I think that they were probably having a hard time figuring out how they were supposed to go about getting to this monster if they put it into the extra deck and still make it thematic within both Constellar and
Oh.
Gemknight.
Well, it's not
Yeah.
supposed to be thematic to Gem Knights at all.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just to correct a lore point, this was actually the warrior created from the power of fusion from Leslie and fusing with the other Constellars.
So it should have
And
been
pretty
a
much
fusion.
and pretty much the fusion sealed away Sophia into it.
Well, yeah, it was that and Kirkion.
Yep.
Uh,
Because Kirkion is a weird parallel card who we'll talk about when we do Evil Swarm, which should probably be next time. But
Right.
there will be design elements in Kirkion which are deliberately paralleled to Sombre.
yeah, they broke the orb on her head that gave her godly powers, and she vanished from the planet.
We
And,
destroyed the cycle of
Right.
destruction.
There's a picture of it.
all right, apparently.
But yeah, so
Roswell.
Sombre is Lazuli wearing all the Constellar bits and having all their weapons, even the dumb ones. Because you can see Leonis'
Yes.
laser fingers. But
And and then after they beat Sophia, they literally pulled a "My people need me" and banished from the world.
yeah, the
I must go now.
Constellars got reworked into the Satellar Knights. And I think Evil Storm just fucked off finally. Thank God.
Yeah, they just left. They're like,
Yeah.
fucking peace.
That's why we need a new viral enemy archetype to
Dude,
take over
you-
old cards.
unironically, the Evil Swarm returning in the Albaz storyline would be awesome.
Who knows? There's the Abyss storyline for Albaz and stuff is just constantly
Right.
growing, but that's a whole different.
Honestly, I'm just imagining that clip from fucking Dragon Ball Z Abridged. I'm back, bitches.
Okay, so for that sealed way, the destruction power Sophia was Radiosolholic with the 3 corrupted ice barrier dragons, which formed it Korekion.
Yeah, they absorb the Aqua Mirror and.
Yeah, I mean that's all for Evil Swarm stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sombre is a level 4 fairy, 1550 attack, 1600 defense. Kerkion is the opposite way around. So this is, and again, light fairy. So it has similarities to Lazuli, but it's not directly related. You can only use each effective Constellar Sombre once per turn. While this card is in the graveyard, if it was sent there this turn, you can normal summon a Constellar monster for 1 less tribute. Full stop. You can banish 1 Constellar monster from your graveyard, then target 1 Constellar monster from in your graveyard, add that target to hand. Also, this card gains the following effect. This turn, you can activate this effect, normal summon 1 Constellar monster. So this is just another 4 that, like, unbricks yourself. You can normal summon for less tribute, so you can get out the 1 tribute monsters for free if it's in your graveyard and it was sent there this turn, so if you can figure out some way to discard it or if you detached it or something. You can, if it's on the field, you can banish a Constellar from your graveyard to get a Constellar monster in your graveyard back to your hand, and then this card lets you normal summon, so you can just cycle. So it just... It's really interesting how it has these, like, profound cycling effects that help you, you know, get your Constellars to flow. I do think, like, obviously I think the art is good. It's a little weird design-wise that like, lore-wise, this and Kirkion are supposed to somehow prevent all of creation from being destroyed and made again.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, they just punch Sophia in the face really hard and break her.
Yeah, but she can't. This monster can't do that though.
Yeah, pretty much steal and punch. Yeah, but still.
Like,
why?
how did that not?
I mean, you could argue that basically Kirkion and Sombra both allow their respective decks to go burrs, so they imbue
That is true. They are certainly extenders.
Like, they're perfect starter extenders in both their decks. So they, like, arguably allow all of the Evil Swarm power and all of the Constellar power to go through. So you could argue that, but...
Yeah, it's just... I think it's a little interesting. So then the other card
I have
that
a weird
was
theory in mind, but I'm just trying to remember exactly... Unless I blanked when you were saying the effects.
It has a lot of effects.
But the other one that came out in Lords of the Tachyon Galaxy was this guy, Constellar Omega. Yet another joke about Omegas. Begin.
Omega? I mean, this card's actually good, though.
Yeah.
And he's a horse.
Yes. Obviously related to Sagittarius.
I'm pretty sure this is Sagittarius and Pleiades.
I can see that, yeah. Considering the cape and then also the body, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not
that
Pleiades because
counts.
that's an Xyz monster.
Oh, it's Ladies Cloak.
No, it's Cloak. All the Xyz have space cloaks.
Oh,
Oh,
right.
different design though.
Well, no, except for that one. That
Also, all of them have the same shape of same shape of cloak.
Sure.
Interestingly, by the way, this one is named after
the Omega Cluster?
Yeah, a globular cluster called Omega Centauri, because it's in the constellation Centaurus, which is not Sagittarius. We have 2 space centaurs.
Okay, no, this makes sense. Okay. So basically, the power of creation and destruction that Sophia has are literally inside of Kirkion and Sombra, respectively.
Ah, okay.
So I was reading the pamphlet.
Yes, there's many of those.
So technically she has the power of creation, which is funny.
I mean, it makes sense because it's graveyard recovery, gives you extra summons. You know, lets you basically create your Xyz easier. Speaking of which, like art-wise, I don't think we got a lot. It seems like we don't got a lot to say about Omega.
I mean, he's a cool horse dude. I like him a little bit less than motherfucker
Then Kaus, yeah.
than Chaos. Just
yeah,
'cause
I
he's
think
a little,
it's got some
like,
extra.
he's a
design
little
elements.
busy. Like, I don't know. Like the cloak is a little too much. It looks like tentacles and it's weird.
Yes, I was just about to bring that up. He's got weird tentacle hands.
Yeah.
Draw an angry Cthulhu face.
But yeah, no, Omega's good.
It's a good art, and it's a good card effect. This is a rank 4 light beast warrior. Requires 2 level 4 light monsters.
This is the other reason you don't use the shitty rank for.
Once per turn, during either player's turn, you can detach 1 Exceed material from this card. All Constellar monsters you currently control are unaffected by spell trap effects. Hey,
That
you know those
includes
forbidden
itself.
cards that are like one target? What if you could just quick effect detach and be like, no?
No.
Yeah, and it includes himself, so it's
Yeah.
you can use it in non.
And
Constellar
it's
decks.
2,400 attack, 500 defense.
It's not too bad, and light is not hardly an uncommon type. So
No.
honestly, not too bad a card.
Yeah.
I remember running him a lot of my deck. Always good just to be like, I know
Yeah.
you have probably at least a Mirror
Like,
Force on board.
He's
so
not
fuck
as
you.
good as Pallades, but that's hard.
Yeah.
Blaze is reliable.
I mean, Pallades is like the best rank 5 XC outside Volcasaurus. Also, I want to share this because I don't know where this art is from, but holy crap! Oh, never mind. It's just DeviantArt.
Okay.
Fuck is a Danborough?
That's the art site.
There's so many burrow. Insert burrow something sites.
That's cool.
Blah.
That's a cool
Don't
place.
care.
It's a
It's all
structure
the
of an image
Exceeds.
hosting website.
It's all the Xyz.
Yeah, I think that's a fan art.
You see Omega, that useless Kunai dude, B-Man, Ptolemy.
The internet can
Player.
look it up on their own. I'm not showing fan art on stream because that gets you in trouble.
True.
So now, technically, later in the... Oops, I forgot I drew my pen out. In the Arc V era, because this was later in 2015, there was one more Constellar card that is a Constellar card. Technically. Satellar Knight Constellar Diamond.
Oh no.
Big Space Dragon. So
Omega.
he's a space dragon, but more.
I found the official game art for Omega.
Uh-oh.
That's never a good sign.
Oh, yeah, dual terminal. Yeah. The 3D models are bad.
Horse, his tiny horse legs.
I don't know why his proportions are so fucked.
Oh Jesus Christ.
So, yeah.
Man, I hate this art.
Yeah?
I hate gold armor, and this is just the brightest, most obnoxious gold armor.
Ah.
It's not really
Okay.
that gold.
So this. Oh.
I think I have questions about his legs.
Okay,
sure.
So why this guy was foreign was because Master Diamond.
Yes, I was going to say that, but we're talking about the fucking art.
Sorry.
God damn it, guys. Relax. We'll talk about all the stuff.
Also, why does he have like things on the back of his knees?
Well, his knees are bent weird, which is a thing I wanted to bring up. He's got some weird stuff going on with his legs.
I just hate this shade of gold.
I will say, I think there's something weird here where, like, I think he's supposed to be bipedal, but also
He has
not.
chicken feet.
Yeah, his feet are weird. Like, it's a little weird.
I don't like this art.
But yeah, as Marth brought up, this is Constellar Ptolemy plus Master Diamond.
Yeah.
So I don't remember those guys directly teaming up, and certainly you could not use those two monsters to make this monster, but that is in fact what we're going for because he is Stellar Knight.
Yeah, Master
Monster Deck.
Diamond for Tilling Ice plus Pollux and one other.
Yeah.
It's a very weird.
This is definitely some, like, I mean, this is a worm, not a dragon, but this is some Arc V dragon shit going on here. Like, I'm just
Honestly,
shocked
it
he has
looks
less
more
orbs.
Like, it's more like Zexal than Arc V, but it's still the same. Like, it's the bad Felgrand dragon art that I don't like.
Mhm.
Also, his position is really just...
Yeah, I do not like his pose.
Really thrusting his crotch at you.
Yeah.
It's a little weird. So, this is a rank 5 light Wyrm with 2700 attack, 2k defense, which I think is that the same stats as Ptolemy? Or is it one higher? It might be 100 higher. Anyway, the big reason why you've probably never ever seen this man is Constellar Diamond is 3 or more level 5 light monsters.
So
Now-
this card is actually responsible for a card getting banned.
Yeah. So during your main phase 2, you can Xyz summon this card using a Teller Knight Xyz monster you control as Xyz materials, except Teller Knight Constellar Diamond. Once again, this card makes no sense lore-wise. But yeah, you can give it a free rank up on a Teller Knight Xyz monster. While this card has Xyz material, neither player can send cards from deck to graveyard, and any card that returns from the graveyard to the hand is banished instead. During either player's turn, when an opponent's dark monster activates its effect, you can detach one Xyz material from this card, negate that activation, and if you do, destroy it. If you don't know what this is, despite the fact, once again, lore-wise, I don't think this makes any sense unless Diamond comes back later, like they remake him in the Teller Knight story. What this monster's effect does is fuck you shit-alls.
Yeah.
Because you can't send your deck if you return.
The Stellar Knights are fighting the Shadows.
Yeah.
But
I don't know why he is Satellar Knight Constellar Diamond.
Has not much to do about it.
Like, I'm not sure what's happening there. But, Dallas, go ahead and explain how this got a card banned.
So this card got a card banned in a very roundabout way. Because this card is responsible for the creation of Tellarknight Ptolemaeus, who was basically designed to special summon this guy. Because Ptolemaeus' effect is detach and summon from your extra deck an Xyz monster that is run does 1 rank higher, except a number, and use this as Xyz material. Now, Ptolemaeus got banned because you could go into Cyber Dragon Nova. So basically, in a very roundabout way, this card's design got Ptolemaeus banned. Because very obviously, Ptolemaeus was meant to go into Constellar Diamond.
Yeah.
But then they went, but what if we just went into Infinity instead? And
Also, so I'm looking at some other card lore.
Not that much later.
This guy, they must have, like, re-summoned this guy at the end of the Teller Knight story somehow, because there's card art of Eye of the Void of this guy fighting an Infernoid. Which also doesn't make any goddamn sense, because Infernoid... Well, I guess they do... Do they mill or send to graveyard?
They send.
Yeah, okay. So that technically works, but they're not all dark.
No.
And I don't think they return from hand, from graveyard to hand.
I mean, this card was played a lot. Like this,
Fire?
it's a very good effect.
Well, it has an inherent rank up, and the fact that it so thoroughly tells shitballs or any decks like them to fuck off is pretty good.
Like Grave Hate is always good, pretty much.
Yeah. And there's a reason why Foolish Burial is limit 1, right? Like, since just pitching a monster into your graveyard out of your deck is really good. Okay, so now we're praying that this card's in Master Duel. Because that's it. Constellars, other than effectively a homage in Satellar Knight later, Constellars are radio silent for literal years. For, like... I mean, if we want to count out Constellar Diamond, because, like we said, he is obviously a Satellar Knight card. That was Lords of the Tachyon Galaxy, which was 2014? Or was it 2013? No, it was still 2013, I think. So, for like 8 years, nothing. Nothing out of Constellars. Until this guy. Constellar Caduceus. He exists.
That is a very interesting card art. Do you know why?
Why?
This is Kirkion.
I mean, not quite, but yes, it's the proportions aren't the same, but yes, it is a very similar design.
Well, it's also the
that
staff.
small?
Well, the is Kirkion's staff exactly the same? Because that's part of Rasselhaug is the staff. This is actually the double
using-
snake Caduceus.
Well, Kirkion's using Rasselhog's staff.
Also, isn't this part?
And a bit of Rasselhog's armor?
Wait,
Like,
Rasselhog
the
died
head.
to make.
Yeah.
Kirkion.
Okay. So it is not exactly the same. Because you'll notice this guy has asymmetry. Kirkion is actually symmetrical, but yes, his Caduceus staff as Kirkion is the exact same as Constellar Caduceus.
But this has something to do with Kirkion. It can't not.
Also, wasn't this also like this is the one that was in the Meteor as well, like in an earlier version.
What?
No. This
The-
card is not in
the
any
head
earlier
spike.
stuff.
Lines up with
Well, he's got two different head spikes.
the
The
side.
head
was-
spike is very
that was
similar to
done-
Rasselhog's.
Yeah, it's just Rasselhog's.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, everything we say here is pure speculation. There's no trivia on the Yu-Gi-Oh
No.
wiki. I assume there hasn't
I
been like
would
a Master
bet my
Guide
left-
update.
It is Kirkion plus something, or redeemed, or in some way. 'cause
Yeah,
there's
it's
no way it
definitely
can't be.
related to that process because you are correct. I think his staff is actually even fancier than Kirkion, but he definitely has a unique light and dark aesthetic. I do know we did talk about how the evil swarms do just kind of fuck off, and the Constellars
Yeah,
become the
Kirkion
Stellar
literally
Knights.
just vanishes.
So maybe that's supposed to be that, because I would like to point out this guy does not follow the normal naming conventions of Constellars. The Caduceus is the staff of Hermes, sometimes associated with Asclepius as well, with the twin serpents. It's
Two-headed serpent, yeah.
I'm gonna double check if there's any. Yeah, because it's not the same, but it's often compared to the staff of Asclepius, because that's one snake.
Also, the two-headed serpent of Pope Cthulhu's name.
There's a lot of snakes in Cthulhu, actually. This isn't related to any of that.
No, there's an entire Pope Cthulhu campaign called the Two.
Okay, it's double not related to that.
Okay.
Yes, Axe. These guys who designed this card know that one specific thing.
No, that's not what I. Oh.
Also, it's Oh, God, of course this was in Blazing Vortex.
Yeah, I said that earlier. Of course, the one-off legacy support was in Blazing Vortex. Yeah, I can't
Blazing
find any
Vortex is
reference
a
to the Caduceus with
Fucking...
asterisms. I don't know. It was a weird nostalgia set. So he doesn't have any star signs behind him. His background isn't like their Xyz. His armor design and coloring is not quite like any of the other guys.
I got something.
What's up?
This was on the trivia page for Caduceus, or not Caduceus, Kirkion, ironically.
Ah, okay.
The card is named after the symbol on its staff. Kirkion is an alternative name for the Caduceus, the symbol of commerce.
Ah, okay. So
it's quite literally Kirkion.
yeah, so this is just Kirkion
Kirkion
must
years
go,
later.
and then he comes back after the time skip, and nobody knows who he is.
And goes, who must go?
So this is a actually also I just realized, Dallas, it has the exact same stats as Kirkion. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So this is a level 4 light spellcaster.
Wow.
If you control a Constellar monster except Constellar Caduceus, you can special summon this card from your hand. So he's just a free special if you control another. It's pretty great. During your main phase, you can add a Constellar spell trap from your deck to your hand, this is the first time they've had a spell trap searcher. You can use each of the previous effects of Constellar Caduceus once per turn. A Constellar Xyz monster that has this card as material gains this effect. If this card battles a light or dark monster before damage calculation, you can banish that monster.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so this is very clearly like the end state of Kirkion. What were you going to say about the effect, though, Dallas?
I was going to say... what was I going to say? I was going to say something.
Was it related to the spell trap searching?
Yeah, does it say Constellar Knight or Teller Knight?
Constellar spell trap.
Okay. If it's a Teller Knight, that would be so broken.
No, it's only the Constellar spell traps.
Okay, that's not amazing because well, it's not awful, but
I mean, they didn't have a spell trap searcher before, so it's decent. They do have some very funny cards, like the one I used for the card art is.
I just realized that Blazing Vortex is literally the. In Blazing Vortex, I just have to say this because it bears saying.
Go for it.
There was Wind Witches, Fabled, Metal Foes, Constellars, Digital Bugs, Ancient Warriors, Machina. What else is in here? White.
Yep.
Sounds like a bunch of highlights. Holy shit.
Armed Dragon, by the way, also.
Armed Dragon.
Yeah, that was the big seller.
The white card is baking.
Yeah, White Baking is in there.
Was there Ghost Tricks in Blazing Vortex, or was that a different set?
I don't know. I mean, like I'm just trying to think of the support stuff because there's War Rock and.
Man.
I mean, there's a bunch.
I mean,
there's Archfiend support.
Ooh, that was a big thump.
Oh, sorry about that.
I mean, I can look at it right now. Like, I can pull it up. So,
Ojamas
includes new members / supports for Armed Dragon, Fabled, Dream Mirror, Metal Foes, Eldritch, Dogmatica, Tribrigade, Constellar, Ojama, Dual Avatar, Live Twin, and all that stuff. Ancient Warriors, Dragoonity, Machina, Archfiend, Virtual World, and Wind Witch. Well as series like The Fabled, Digital Bug, Greed, Paladins of Dragons, and White.
Yeah, no, this set is just fucking throw everything.
Yeah.
Oh, the new
like
set
both
that
those
just
things
came
they
out?
No. Blazing Vortex.
Vortex.
That came out last year.
Because I had to check it because the set just keeps coming up in our fucking fail trails.
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. It's full of old school legacy support.
Yeah.
Like, some of the stuff I mentioned are new. Like, it's got more Dogmaticas, more Tri-Brigades, more Live Twins, right? You know, Virtual
S-Force
World, Modern
was
Archetypes. S-Force was introduced. It introduced Springans.
Yeah.
We don't
It
talk about the
introduced
TCG
Warlocks.
exclusive. I just said, Dallas, we're not going to talk about the TCG exclusive archetypes.
Fair enough.
We don't need to talk about Materiactor.
To be fair, it did introduce Underworld Gods of the Closed World as well, which is a good card.
Yeah. But yeah, so, like, Caduceus is definitely a factor in their deck, right, that they didn't have before. Because they do, I was going to say this earlier, the card I used for the, thumbnail, because Constellars were, as I mentioned, way ago. It was 2.5 hours ago. Well, a little bit less than that, because we jawed about Ghost from the Past for, like, 20 minutes. 2 hours ago, fine.
Star Wars.
But they were used by an Arc 5 character. Once again.
I mean, what archetype wasn't?
Dipper
Right.
Orion. Well, a few weren't, but that's why they did get some spell trap support in the Arc V years, which includes our thumbnail art, Constellar Tempest, which is funny because it allows you during your end phase to target 2 Constellar Xyz monsters you control that have Xyz material, detach all their materials, and then have your opponent's life points. You can only do this once per duel. But that's funny, definitely anime bullshit. But that was a card that came out and like was printed in 2016.
What? Wait, hold on. You could do some very funny things with that. Because considering with Pallades, you can respond to the detach effect.
Yeah. There was another common that was released in Secret of Evolution in 2015. Is that a real set? No, it's Secrets of Eternity. Okay, they've got the wrong... All right, they had the wrong card name.
Secrets of Eternity.
That was Constellar Twinkle, which was another spell trap. It's a spell that lets you level fix.
I thought that was a monster for a second. I'm like,
No, Constellar Twinkle is a spell card. It lets you level fix.
I'm Constellar Twinkle.
Oh, why'd you have to say that?
You know...
God,
I'm sorry. Constellars were not helped by their spell trap support. It seems to be actively trying to hurt them. Axis complained about Constellar Star Cradle before, but I would like to remind everybody. Star Cradle, target 2 Constellar monsters in your graveyard, add them to your hand. You can't do your battle phase the turn you activate this card. What the fuck?
Yeah, a lot of them are not... A lot of them are like, you play them for setup. They're
Like,
not actually stuff you do normal.
literally, you probably just try and play Star Chart because that gives you draw power. And maybe Belt, even though that's not
I'm
required.
pretty sure Belt is like the only one I've ever seen used.
Yeah.
Oh no, and Star Chart. I mean, Twinkle can be useful.
I mean, it does have a banish effect in Graveyard. You can banish a Constellar from your graveyard, add...
Well, no,
this card
because
to
it
your hand.
increases the level
Yeah.
of Constellar monsters. So.
Yes, by 1 or 2, so you can use it to go to fix for 6s.
I mean, if you're gonna do like weird 6 shenanigans that aren't just like playing the standard stuff, I suppose that card is not useless.
Yeah, I mean, it's an alternative to rank up magics. You just do the level fixing on the monsters rather than ranking up stuff. Once again, none of the card art is very impressive. It's mostly just Constellars look at glowy things. We already looked at Meteor, which is the only one. But yeah, this is the state of Constellars. Lore-wise, very important because they kind of show up very late in the dual terminal second phase to start thumping L swarms. And, you know, like we discussed, Sombre and upcoming Evil Swarm Kirkion are very important to ending that arc of the story and making way for the new one. But their design effect is very interesting because, like I said, almost all of their cards were all just dumped in Hidden Arsenal 7 as part of the climax and then never really revisited. They got a little bit of support like a month later in Lords of the Tachyon Galaxy. I think Sombre and Omega do make those decks go together very well. Like, it helps your flow. They got a couple of spell traps that don't really, like, make the deck go burr in the Arc V era. Same with Stellar Knight.
I mean, there's a couple of really good spell traps for the deck. They just have nothing to do with Constellars.
Yeah.
Like Photon Lead is a good card.
Yeah. Caduceus is cool, as seen by the fact that nobody's been playing Constellars. I don't think it really does enough for the archetype. I think Konami was just throwing a bone.
The problem is Stellar Knights exist. Like, they're just Constellar
Yeah.
Knights, but better.
Konami did the unfortunate thing where they just made a V2 of this archetype that is better.
Yeah, like, if you're gonna play rank 4 spam, Stellar Knight is better. If you're gonna play rank 5 spam, Cyber Dragon is better. And if you're gonna play rank 6
And
spam...
unfortunately, it doesn't matter how cool you look in Hidden Arsenal, which, by the way, in Dual Terminal, which, by the way, as we discussed, the Constellars did not necessarily look the coolest.
No.
Some of their cards were
I
okay,
think
but
the
several
only
of them were
good-looking
goofy.
archetype in this phase of Hidden Arsenal are Vions and Evil Swarm.
Yeah.
But you're
Evil
not
Swarm
gonna
is
you're
the
not gonna
horror
defeat
aesthetic,
the
though.
nostalgia power of Sidra.
No. Despite the fact that that deck is bad. I
Yeah,
say this
but
as a side.
as we've discussed, Konami is well aware that I believe on both sides of the Pacific Ocean that nostalgia is a big sell factor for them.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you are much more likely, especially now that apparently the OCG is dedicated to doing this animation chronicle business. They've got a second one coming out.
This deck
to,
is
like,
disgusting.
making real anime cards that have been fake for
Yeah.
years. You will find it a damn sight more likely you're going to get more Cyber Dragon support. They released a fucking Cyber Dark structure deck, okay? Which people voted on. People picked that.
I mean, I'll be honest, I probably would have voted on it.
I wouldn't have.
I'm trying to remember the entire poll. There were other archetypes I wanted to win more.
Depending on what was in there, but
Well, yeah.
One of
I'm
them
pretty
was
sure-
also Ice Barrier. That's also where the Ice Barrier structure deck came from.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, I would
Like, I
not have voted
probably
for
would
that
have.
either.
Like, I would have voted for Gusto if Gusto were on that poll.
Of course.
Let me see. Structure deck theme poll. The 10
Only lads
themes
like
were
what
the
he likes.
following.
Gusto was
Oh.
Oh,
This is very interesting, by the way. So listen to these. These were the 10
Hold on, here.
themes. It was... Dallas, shush, I'm
third.
going to read the
Okay,
list.
why
I'm
do
going to
you
read the
have to
list.
do me like this?
I'm going to read the list. Karibo, Cyberstyle, Morphtronic, Star Seraph, Super Heavy Samurai, Trickstar, Ice Barrier, Gusto, Tour Guide, Kaiju.
Why'd you
And
have
number
to do
1 and
Super
number
Heavy
2
Samurai?
was Ice Barrier and Cyberstyle.
Yeah, Gusto lost by 1%.
Yeah.
And then the rest wasn't even close.
yeah.
No. But
But why'd
actually-
you have to do Super Heavy Samurai like that?
yeah, they're dead last. Behind even Tour Guide. But
That's not
funny
even a
enough,
real archetype.
Now, so Gusto did get some support in Dawn of Majesty later. Not a full structure deck, but they got a couple of new cards.
Yeah, so I imagine that they also used the poll to kind of gauge.
Well, so here's the funny thing. Karibo got support in Animation Chronicle. They made a lot of Karibo monsters real. That was Brothers of Legend.
Also,
Morphtronics are going to be one of the new deck build packs. Very recently, I was just about to pull up Power Tool Braver Dragon.
Yeah.
So I would not be shocked. I think technically one of the animation cards that would like the anniversary cards also just Trickstar. It was just one though.
Yeah.
But I feel like Trickstar has been on literally every poll.
Well, okay, so I have to imagine that Trickstar has a bunch of anime cards that haven't made it over.
I don't know if it's
yet.
a bunch, but I'm assuming so, probably. I'm really,
Probably.
I mean, personally, my vote would have been just for the interest. I would have really wanted to see Kaiju or Tour Guide, because, like, Tour Guide is, like, 3 cards, I think, because it's...
I would have voted for Super Heavy Samurai.
I mean, yeah, I understand that. But they have a lot of cards because they were anime. Like, I'm just curious what they try to do with Tour Guide, because I think it's Tour Guide, Tour Bus, and Patrol, right? Beat Cop.
Tool
on the other one?
Fairy.
Beat Cop, actually.
Yeah, Beat Cop. I think that's it. So I'm like, what the fuck would they do with that?
Right.
Maybe they'll eventually get around to those
interesting,
cards.
They'll make it a travel agency.
They'll break.
Oh yeah, Travel
fucking
Agent of the
BA.
Underworld.
I don't.
Honestly, I would have liked to
the
see
Underworld.
Yeah, like I said, I'm interested in what they would have done with Kaiju as well.
Advertising of the
that-
Underworld.
That would have been interesting too, and you know, more Kaiju's always good. But I'm gonna take my bird bias and say, hey, I want my Gusto.
So, I've pulled up the promo image for Power Tool Braver Dragon.
Mhm.
But so you can consider this a follow-up to we've done the Morphtronic one, and we're gonna have to do more follow-ups because Morphtronic's the third archetype in there.
Yeah.
It's what is this set called? Again, I hate your guts, you
So
organization.
what are the 3 in this one?
What the fuck is this set called? I can't find it out here.
Wait, so this is the new?
It's the Earth one.
Yeah, I know it's the Earth one, but I'm like, what the fuck is it called?
Warriors
Welcome
of
to
the
Earth.
Pyroxene.
Right. Pyroxene. Despite the fact that Gem-Knights aren't in it. So the 3 archetypes are Amazon S, that was revealed first, which includes some support to make them a Pendulum deck because they were played in Arc V. Morphtronics, because Power Tool Braver Dragon is on the cover, and we've only seen it, but we know Morphtronics will be in there. And then, it doesn't have a name, it's not an archetype, but Ishizu Ishtar's deck, which was Earth Fairies.
It's saying Gravekeepers.
Well, one of them says Gravekeeper. None of the others say Gravekeeper.
Yeah.
If a wiki says it's Gravekeeper, they're drunk. They need to go home. She has a single trap card that that has Gravekeeper in it.
I mean, a lot of the wikis are saying it.
But it's they say it includes support for Gravekeepers. That's not what the archetype is, though. There's literally one trap that's called Gravekeeper's Trap.
Man, I'm still salty about
I wonder if they'll
Ishizu.
roll it in with Gravekeeper.
Probably not. If I remember rightly, I don't think Keldo, Mudora, or Agido said anything about Gravekeepers. They don't fit in at all because they're Earth
I think
Fairies.
this
Yeah.
is the saltiest I've ever been at a reveal of one of these.
Yeah, it's just reading their effects, it's just Earth Fairy
More
stuff.
changes of spirit too. As well.
Well, yeah, and it seems like they're trying to do Exchange of Spirit Mill, which is what Ishizu's strategy was.
Fair
I think all 3 of these Earth Fairy cards they introduced have an effect to like yeet various cards from either the graveyard or deck. It's
We're
very
just not
weird.
in an era where I don't think they're actually good retrains for what they are. Just having an actual just random.
I think
Fairy
the
deck is
funniest
not great.
thing is it has Blast held by Tribute, which doesn't have anything to do with the original effect in the anime. It's just goofy. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, destroy one face-up monster they control with the highest attack, your choice if tied. And if you do, inflict damage equal to the destroyed monster's original attack, which would have actually killed Kaiba, but has nothing to do with the Blast held by Tribute effect. Then, if Exchange of Spirit is not in your graveyard, you take damage equal to the damage your opponent took. If this card is sent from your hand or deck to the graveyard, target one level 4 Earth Fairy in your graveyard, add it to your hand. You can only activate each effective blast held by Fate once per turn. So yeah, it's just we're literally just making Earth Fairy Exchanger Spirit deck. It will be bad. But the new turning Amazon S into Earth Lunalite is good, and we don't know shit about the Morphtronics, but I'm sure they'll be funny because this is Power Tool Braver Dragon.
Yep.
This is a level 9 machine synchro, 2,500 attack, 2,300 defense, so a little lean for its stats. It's a generic 2-mat, though. It's 1 tuner, 1 or more non-tuner monsters. You can use each of this card's 1 and 2 effects per turn. Effect number 1, if this card is special summoned, you can equip up to 3 equip spells with different names from your deck and or graveyard to this card. During the main phase, quick effect, you can send one of your equip cards equipped to this card to the graveyard, then target one effect monster on the field, either change its battle position or negate its effects until the end of this turn.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so I imagine its stats are a little bit lean because they want to try and force you into using equipped spells that are gonna buff its stats.
Probably, I assume that's what they're going for, is the idea is just like, well, you're gonna just auto-equip 3 spells, and you wouldn't not have those equipped spells because that lets you do your whole thing. So
yeah, but I think they also want to try and avoid you. Like, I don't know if there's necessarily any degenerate equipped spells.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter. You've already the problem is, David, they've already done that because you can send them for free.
Yeah, but
like, you can already do. I've seen several people talking about bamboo sword shit.
Yeah,
Curse Bamboo. I'm just salty at these duelist packs because they just literally just ignore GX.
Yeah.
Well, what do you want from GX?
Fossil.
I mean, that was already in a pack. Fossil already came out, and they're doing Fossil machines in. Is it Animation Chronicle?
Oh, are they?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure I've seen some Fossil stuff at some point. I forget if it made its way into the Speed Duel box or if it was something else.
No, Fossil and Fossil Fusions have already come out, and yeah, Fossil Machine Skull Convoy, Fossil Machine Skull Wagon, and Fossil Machine Skull Buggy are all coming out in Ghost from the Past. And there was another one that they just announced. I think it's in the Animation Chronicle.
I just swear, if when they do the fire one, if Axel isn't one of the 3, I'm just gonna fucking throw my hands up.
I mean, I feel like they gotta just do Volcanic, right? Like, you can't do a fire pack and not do Volcanic. I know Konami is concerned about Volcanics, maybe, but
Volcanics haven't done shit in years.
I feel like
literal decades.
For the fire pack, there's literally only 1 spot left because I feel like 2 are locked.
What do you think they are, Dallas? Just
Salmon Grit and Volcanic.
Do we need more? I mean, we can probably use more Salmon Grates. They haven't been relevant in a while.
Well, also, he's like the most relevant duelist who used a fire deck in any anime.
Well,
where the fuck was it? I swear to God, there is.
Do you have? You have.
I want to say this. I kind of hate how Yu-Gi-Oh! Organization and lots of other channels have taken the Master Duel thing, and are still making articles about decks like Master Duel is relevant to anybody.
I mean, I still play it.
Yeah, but you don't give a shit about articles to do more support.
No. I look at Master Duel fucking meta for weird deck ideas, and that's it.
Yeah. So I'm kind of annoyed that I'm trying to fucking dig through this shit. Because I'm trying to find... I swear to God, there was another Earth Machine, or Fossil Earth Machine guy that was previewed, but there's no fucking way I can find it because...
Master Duel has taken over the internet.
Everything is just there's because the new Rush Duel anime came out and they're doing new Rush Duel packs. There's a shitload of those articles. They've announced some new V-Jump promos. There's Ground Tusk Dragon. That's not what I'm looking for. Power Tool Braver. There's the Albaz the Ashes.
I'm also salty that Super Heavy Samurai wasn't in the Earth pack.
But they've got 5 billion cards already, Dallas.
Yeah, but they're still not a good deck.
So the decks in deck build packs in duelist packs don't become good decks.
I'll be honest, I like them. Like,
No,
That's not
Dallas. Don't say that. Just because Synchro Storm exists, that's not a good. You can't play Fleur as a good deck. You just slap Baron and everything.
No. I wasn't gonna say. I mean, I was gonna say from that pack, but the other two actually, like Lyrilisk is very relevant, and then like Speedroid became way more playable of a deck.
It's true.
It did.
Yeah.
No, the Fleur deck is terrible and bad and should feel bad. But
I mean, I think it was important because half those like the 3 or 4 cards that already existed were all fucking video game promos that were printed once. So, speaking about our their printing issues, it was good to bring them back. But yeah, I think your boy Power Tool Braver here can probably be horrifically abused for stuff, but that's
Also,
not mainly what's bad.
Duelist of the Abyss, if you look at it, I think Marincess is fairly relevant out of that.
I've heard that will be relevant. I don't know
Is
much
he
about
gonna
Marincess.
So they've shown him off, but he's not going to be the only morph trying to.
No.
right?
There's like a dozen, I think, or more open slots around this guy in the serial numbers. Like you can see that this guy's card 005. So there's several.
Are they doing one for each element or one for each non-light?
I think they're doing one for each light and non-light and dark.
Okay.
Well, they've already done light and dark.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. The duelist packs. So, I mean, they're not called that anymore. What the fuck do we call them in the OCG?
Legendary Duelist?
No, the OCG doesn't call them that. I don't think.
And then Synchro Storm was the wind one.
Duelist pack. Okay, they're called Legendary Duelist over here, so we'll just... That fucking redirects. I hate your guts, Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki. You make this so goddamn hard. I just want to, like, look at card sets that are in sets. It's obvious. Okay, so there was... Ancient Millennium was the second one. It was... The dark one, at least, they've done already.
Okay.
Was that called Immortal Destiny? Yeah, what the fuck is this called in Japanese?
I mean, that wasn't... I don't know if that would count, because it was so much earlier than the other one.
I mean, they're all the same set. They're in the same style. Let's see. Magical Hero...
No, because, yeah, I guess... No.
No, it was what was called Rage of Ra over here was Duelist of Gloom. That was dark. There is no
Okay,
light.
yeah, because Immortal Destiny was specifically, and it literally says this, male antagonists.
Yeah, sorry. So the Legendary Duelist, what we call Legendary Duelist packs over here, I guess they're called Legend Duelist it's whatever. They're not as... The OCG isn't as cool. Starting with Ra, they changed their format. That was Duelists of Gloom. That was supposed to be dark. And then Synchro Storm, and then Duels from the Deep.
Never mind, I don't feel so bad about the Earth one. This one is... The dark one is miserable.
Oh, Duelist of Gloom? Yeah, it's a god. It's a fucking awful set. Nobody complained that they called it Rage of Ra.
Maybe they'll just do a different dark one.
Because it was the 3 sets were Jinzos, Mechlords,
Slime, and Jinzo.
Yeah, and well, Wing Dragon of Ra adjacent slime specifically. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only relevant card out of that
like dark archetypes.
The only relevant card out of the entire set was Egyptian God Slime.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Jinzo is relevant, but none of his other forms have ever been really cool.
I mean, Jinzo is not relevant anymore.
No. I mean, I can see why they would try, but they didn't try hard enough. Jinzo's not a real deck.
Honestly, Synchro Storm has been the best so far.
Yes.
Like
Synchro Storm is definitely 2 out of 3.
Yeah, Lyrilisk and Speedroid both got genuinely good. Like, Speedroid is, like, rogue playable, and, like, Lyrilisk was actually, like, 2-3 because of it.
And then... Duelists
Has
from
Abyss
the...
come out?
No.
Duelist from the
The
Abyss?
release date in North America is May 6th.
What's in Abyss? Marincess?
Mako, Marincess, and...
Yeah, it's Legendary
Shark.
Fisherman, Shark, and Marincess. Legendary Fisherman is, of course, dead. That's never good. Sea Stealth will never be relevant.
No, Shark actually is relevant. Cause
No. It's a Legendary Fisherman.
Yeah,
Sea
Legendary
Stealth.
Fisherman.
That will never be cool.
Like, Omega actually said Legendary Fisherman, not Sea Stealth.
They made a non-ritual version of Mega Fortress Whale was the only way they could unfuck that.
I think what this is telling us is stop retraining Duel Master stuff. It always ends terribly.
Well, if you are gonna,
Yeah.
but if you are gonna do that, you should do the future support. Like the Amazones cards that are new are good, but part of that is because some of them are pendulums. They give you pendulum scales, so you can pendulum them, which is something
Yeah.
that Amazones could probably use because they're a swarm archetype. Like they get advantage out of like swarming the board. They had no swarm effects.
Well, it also finally gave them a good boss monster because the 2 new fusions out of that are
Yeah.
actually retrains of.
I mean,
good
yeah,
cards.
they're literally it's Lunalight but Earth.
Yeah.
The Marincess I think stuff is supposed to be good, and so is the Shark stuff.
I mean, Marincess was already a really good deck, so that's not hard to not.
Yeah, I
fuck
think
up.
it just needed some decent support.
Speedroid was always one of those decks that is like one good support away from.
Well,
You know
yeah,
what I'd
because
like from-
Speedroid is just Crystal Wing or Clear Wing go burr.
Speaking of GX, the archetype I would really want in a light archetype is Cyber Angel support that specifically doesn't work with Drytron.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you,
please.
Alex.
Find a way to thread that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like at this point they almost need to like respec Cyber Angels because they've become such an appendix for Drytron.
Like, make a Ben 10 that only searches Cyber
what
Angels.
are internet? What are usually these are
And then-
anime relevant, the duelist packs, because they're based on characters. So
Well, yeah, they're based on characters using the elements.
internet chat, if you're still here, some of you are still here. There's still like 12 of you. I mean, don't say that. Don't put that into the world because Konami will do that. Konami will try and make Flame Swordsman a real deck, and they shouldn't.
Oh,
They fucking
no.
shouldn't. Unless they're gonna do
Oh,
Red
God.
Eyes Flame
To
Swordsman, but
retrain
that
all
doesn't
of
work
it.
because that's dark.
Re-
They need to retrain all
I was
of
gonna
it.
say, but didn't they already do a couple of main deck retrains?
No. There is Blue Flame Swordsman, which is
Yeah.
Flame Swordsman with an effect, and then there's the Link Monster Flame Swordsman. But no, they haven't really. They have luckily
Yeah.
not actually tried to make Flame Swordsman real. They just made a main deck monster that actually makes sense. Like they basically made the card that Flame Swordsman should have been, and not just a weird fusion monster that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And then they made a Link monster
knowing
as
Konami,
like a
they'll
homage.
knowing Konami, they'll probably make a Flame Swordsman archetype that also is like trying to fix Gemini at the same time.
I mean-
because
Well,
they
I mean,
always
the-
use
I-
they
like I
always
said-
use Joey to fix Gemini, and it never works.
No, that's not really true.
Well,
They made Red Eyes Gemini for no reason, but
Well, they also made Gear Free Gemini.
I think that may have been in the same set. I gotta double check. When was the
No,
Gear
it
Free
wasn't.
Gemini? I think that was that was when Gemini came out, wasn't it?
Give me
Yeah.
the lightning.
No,
it
that's
was
Guilford the
Gear Free
Lightning,
Gear the Phoenix.
Hey,
Soldier.
why do they sound so similar?
because they're like a
Because
couple
Joey
differences of
can't
G's and
read.
L's. I mean, we joke about it. I don't think I kind of hope they don't because, like we said, there is just a better version of them. But Constellars were used in an anime and are light.
I mean,
yeah.
my dreams for light would be Arcana Force out of pure selfishness.
Yeah, it would be pretty funny.
Um,
Yeah.
They could give Arcana Force another card to fix coin tosses.
No,
I
just
also I
never-
want to. I mean, actually, you know what makes sense? Given the poll, Trickstar. Actually,
yeah, I
makes
was
sense.
gonna say it'd be Trickstar.
Arcana Force, Trickstar.
I'm trying to even think who.
What's another good one?
Cyber
From a
Angel.
different anime. No,
Cyber
that's
Angel
from
might.
GX again.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
want
that
two from the
those
same
that is
set.
two from GX. That's
Yeah, they probably
And
won't do that.
and Cyber Angel's better. Well, they did that with Dark, but I'm just gonna ignore that one. Dark just
Yeah.
doesn't count.
The dark is clearly the weird one. I'm trying to think. Like I'm looking at a list and they're not like I mean, I pray to God, please not Galaxy. I know Axe would get very excited, but
I mean,
they've got
I mean, I
like
think it'd be
several
cool.
waves of support. I don't think they need it.
yeah, knowing Konami, Galaxy,
they already
more-
actually I
more
think Galaxy were
and more
already in a
Utopia.
duelist pack.
It's probably not gonna
That's when
be
they got
any of
Afterglow.
It's probably not gonna be any of the Kaiba adjacents.
It would probably be like more
No, Blue Eyes
more
did just get a big wave of
Galaxy
support.
and more Utopia support.
No, Utopia got that structure deck that they can that
Oh
Konami
my god,
also
there's so many
cannibalized.
characters in Zexal. What the fuck did those people use? Oh,
Did
God,
anybody
what
play?
what was that one effeminate man-woman person? I can't remember remember his name.
Oh, Blue Flame Swordsman.
There's a
was
lot
an
of
anime, I
really
didn't even
weird
know.
designs. The dude who got the weird gay alien guy.
You gotta be more
few
specific
of
than
You
that.
want, you're not being very specific there.
Hold on.
Dallas, describe
say
the
the
quality
one-
about
the
them. Like,
one
what
that played-
color are
What
they?
deck do they
The one-
use?
The one who was obsessed. That's what I'm trying to remember. It's the one who fought the Galaxy Eyes guy, and then after he lost, had like a weird rival crush on him for the rest of the show.
Don't know, because I
What
don't think I've not
did
read part
he
2 of Sex
use?
I can't remember. That's the point.
Was it- Oh, I was gonna say, was it the
Oh, it could
Chronomaly
be
guy?
Hieratics. That's another one.
Did somebody in an anime use Hieratics?
Yeah, the main villain of the first half of Zexal did.
Oh
Okay.
god, no,
I mean, I'd
Zed,
appreciate
why did I
that.
see that?
The-
Shining
the dude who
Friendship
looked like a
deck.
kid.
No.
God,
the
no!
dude
They
who's
would. I mean, they did. They're doing Earth Fairy for a Shizu. They would.
Jesus
They would
Christ.
give Taya
Yeah.
a real deck.
Oh no!
Fuck me.
Wait,
no.
wait,
Oh,
wait,
God damn it.
wait,
Zed,
wait,
why
wait.
do you say
Guys,
such cursed
guys.
things?
Listen, it would just be a bunch
Listen.
of like level 1 to 3 fairy token nonsense.
Listen to me, heal.
It would be a bunch of things like it'd be a bunch of like weak ass fairies that
I mean,
have
yeah.
United We Stand effects as their effects.
And
Oh, God, what the
also
fuck was
probably some bullshit alternate win con.
Use one of the Barian generals. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I can't find a
It's gonna
fucking
bother
character
me.
list of them.
It's
For some reason, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki feels the need to describe their physiology and abilities.
7 Barian emperors. Okay, it's
seven
not
players, yeah.
Nash. It's not Vector. Is it? I think it was Mizar.
It might be.
Mizar? Yeah, it's Mizar. Okay, what did he
Mizar
use?
was the female. Yeah.
No, he's a guy.
Oh yeah.
And
Mizar,
and
yeah,
also
He just
Uh,
looks very, very effeminate.
for what it's worth, Omega, I thought the same thing, but held that one in.
Well,
But
yeah,
that's
that's why I'm yelling at Zed, because he insists on saying these cursed things out loud.
Like,
You mean
Oh
he
right,
keeps
he
on-
used. Oh right, he used Tachyon dragons as a.
I mean, technically, you can make a dumb joke about like how we got Petite Angel as Cyber Petite Angel, but that's not the
Well,
same thing.
I want to say that actually came up in GX though. Like Alexis.
Yeah, I would not
no
be.
Yeah,
sh-
Cyber-
no
I'm
shit
trying to
has
remember. I don't
Cyber
remember
Petite
if I
Angel.
saw it directly,
No,
but yeah,
it's,
that
yeah,
does
it's
make
called
sense.
Cyber Petite Angel. It's a
Yeah.
real card and it's very good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Loft
I-
said that
I-
card, Mister Not
Oh.
listening.
My
Yeah,
brain.
but I was
Sorry, I'm
saying,
looking at.
I'm like
It's
90%.
okay. Dallas never listens to me.
I never
I'm
listen
like-
to anyone. To be fair.
I'm like 90% sure Alexis actually played that in the anime.
In which case,
yeah.
it would be a deliberate reference to the thing.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna close down that.
Oh, there's Dumon. What did he use again?
Dumon. He used the
Star Seraph. They could do
the
Star Seraph.
Seraphs.
That's
Yeah,
like
that's
an
in the
actual
list.
art.
Oh yeah,
There's-
Star Seraphs.
We were talking about lights.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out light decks that were actually in the
I
anime.
mean, for fire, I think the 3 most obvious ones are Salmon, Great, Battle, and Boxer, Volcanic. Like
Yeah.
those are the 3 ones that I'm like.
I
okay,
mean,
those
Boxer
stick
hasn't
out
had
to me.
support in a while. That would make sense. I mean, I don't think they, other than the speed duel stuff they already did. I don't think. How can you not do volcanics? How can you dodge the volcanic question? Right?
Yeah.
Like you can't. It's the fire deck.
No,
They're
they'll
gonna
do
dodge
Flame
it because
Swordsman.
they want to. They
They'll
want to
do Flame
pretend that.
Swordsman instead.
I really would. Listen, I love Joey and I love Red Eyes. They really shouldn't though, like, because that's not how Flame Swordsmen work. Like,
And
they need to
this-
stop trying to make. I mean, they finally learned their lesson about Red Eyes, but they need to stop trying to make Joey decks a thing because that was Joey's thing. He was a fucking
His deck-
moron. He didn't have a deck. He just played Warrior Spam. Like he played Big Bungus Warrior Spam Turbo. Was
Yeah.
his thing.
And cards
But if
that
they make a Flame
resolve with
Swordsman
luck.
archetype,
And
they'll
luck.
have to do a bridge with Dark Eyes.
See,
Or
that's
Red
the
Eyes.
Joey deck I want them to make. The just random bullshit deck.
I had the
Yeah,
I know that-
the coin flipping and dice rolling is.
Right.
Yeah, the gamble deck.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
is something that Konami seems to be reticent about doing.
I
And
know.
I don't blame them one bit.
No, I love Magic for that. When they just have cards that are like.
I mean,
Swap
I think they
every
should
permanent
retrain
in the
Graceful
fucking
Dice
game.
and Skull Dice and make them have their actual multiplication and division effect. Fucking nuke Yu-Gi-Oh! Make people have to do actual math with calculators.
Imagine a card
math
that
back to
literally
actual
said.
math.
Imagine a card in Yu-Gi-Oh that is for every monster on the field, flip a coin. Heads, you gain control of it. Tails, your opponent gains control of it. That would be fucking
That
amazing.
could be
They-
so
they
that could be
just-
so terrifying.
They just need to make a freaking dice archetype. Just do
make
it.
make troll cards. Do it. Be like Hearthstone and Magic. Make cards that are just fucking.
I mean,
trolling.
they've got a couple like Cup of Ace, which people try and like Cup of Ace.
Honestly, if they made like fucking like luck shotgun cards,
Like,
which is what
that's
I'm gonna
why
coin
I
as
like-
luck shotguns.
That's
Basically,
why I like.
if they get those to work, it'd be great to see basically like have the have all the tournaments be
That's
full
why I
of people
love our-
doing luck shotguns and be like, if I get lucky, I win already.
That's why I love Arcana Force because
And that's
it's,
why they're not gonna do that.
Arcana Force's win condition is making it so turns become infinite. That's great.
True.
Their
But yeah,
archetype
so,
is a fucking JoJo
yeah,
reference.
I was gonna say, I think it's finally time for us to also talk about this because I can't check chat now that I've pulled this window.
I actually really like Scar. And feel
Vendred
like it's
support
kind of-
happened. Once
Yeah.
again, showing you the power of the elements is unbelievably based. Vendred support?
So basically, the one graphic novel is getting a sequel mini, essentially.
No. It's remember this is also Resident Evil, so we're doing the remake now. We're gonna remake
no,
the
this
game.
Or,
is
with
or
more
it's,
guys.
very
it's a
clear.
sequel technically. It's
This
Nemesis.
is very clearly Nemesis.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Nemesis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scar Vendred.
It says Scar. It's like literally one letter off.
It does have it is the Nemesis coat, but it's also very Spawn design esque.
I mean, he's got
Also,
some wiggly
yeah.
tentacles, but I'm also just
Also
thinking of
8
all the
feet tall.
fucking.
I mean,
I'm thinking Dallas
he-
of all the Mr. X memes from the RE2 remake, where he just
No,
feels
he's-
X gonna give it to you as he busts
He's
down the
too
door.
big. He's too big to be Mr. X.
The
That's
pro-
not-
the
My
thing about the way-
favorite dumb. Oh,
the
yeah,
thing about it,
Max?
though is like Omega River. He takes his coat off and it becomes the ritual.
well, the thing about Mr.
Well, yeah,
X is
that is true.
Mr. X is like a large, imposing, actual human.
It's a tyrant.
Nemesis
yeah.
is not a human. He does not try to be a human.
Nemesis is the next version of that, and extra fucking
It's-
because it's the prototype.
It's the best way to
Nemesis is
describe
like,
it. They
what if we
grabbed a
made it
monster
bigger?
and tried to put him in a human suit, and it didn't quite work out.
So you can see the art. Well, I scrolled down a little. Let me scroll back up so you can see
Yeah.
it on the zoom
No,
in.
I,
Scar Vendred is a level 6 Zombo, 2300 attack, 0 defense. If this card's in your graveyard, you can add a Vendred spell trap, which is decent because
That's pretty good,
to
actually,
recycle
yeah.
guys.
yeah.
If a monster on the field is tributed while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish another zombie monster, special summon this card, and if you do, you can't special summon other monsters while you control except Vendred monsters. Well, hey, guess what?
Yep.
If this guy goes to your graveyard, you search a ritual spell. If another monster is tributed, he comes back. You just tribute him away. You can like do ritual
Or
climbing,
material.
basically,
It's pretty good actually.
or you can go into a link as well, because Vendred has
So,
one of those.
yeah, you go into.
So yeah, this is just decent enough fodder.
Yeah.
The ritual version of him, the big bungus, is Vendred
Scarvenger.
Scarvenger. Yes, that is his
That's
actual
on brand.
name.
It's on brand.
I mean, that is Resident Evil level. This is also why he's clearly Nemesis. Look at this picture.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
This is the final boss form. The code is off.
Yeah.
This is RE6 Nemesis, I think. Or
End of three.
Well,
End
End of
of
Three
Nemesis.
remake.
It's
End
second
of
half
three
of 3.
remake.
Yeah.
End of
Yeah.
the remake. The original was not this good quality.
Well, yeah, no, but
Well, by the end of the remake, he was already a giant Ablorpus Bob. Blah,
So
blah.
this is a level 8 dark zombie ritual monster with 2800
Look.
attack, 0 defense. Can be ritual summoned
As
with any
the-
Vendred spell. You can only use its effect once per turn. During the
Like,
main phase,
Ari-
quick effect. Tribute a zombie monster. This card gains attack, and it'll tribute a monster's attack at the end of this turn, so he gets swoller.
Which you can trigger Scar off that.
RE3 is my favorite RE, and
Yeah.
yeah, no, this is definitely Nemesis.
old RE3.
Both.
Okay.
Second
I
effect.
like it.
Oh,
'Cause
wow.
I like it because it's the Jesus.
If you control a Revendred Slayer and this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field.
That's good. It's really good, actually. Considering how you could also combo it into Scar to get
Yeah,
the
This
extra
is
attack
just
as well.
turning Vendred into kind of an OTK deck.
Which
But
I think
maybe
is
what it
fair
needs.
because a lot of their monsters were big bunguses anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It
this
gives it a
guy
really
can
big
can
KO.
recycle himself pretty easily, and he has a tribute effect. And then we've
And
got
has
the
a
new
ritual
ritual spell, Ravenous Vendred. Can be used to ritual summon any Vendred. You can only activate one card with this name per turn. Special summon one Vendred monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard in face down defense position, except Vendred Scarvenger. Then ritual summon one Vendred ritual monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard by tributing monsters whose level equal or exceed the level of the ritual monster you summon, including the summon monster.
So basically, you
You
Ritual
slap a
summon
monster
from
from
deck.
your deck, graveyard, or hand, and then tribute him. on the
Yeah,
field.
Ritual summon
you then tribute
But
it
you
with
put
Scavenger.
you put
to,
him
like,
face down, so that limits
no,
how
no.
your opponent can
No.
manipulate and influence it.
It's better than you think it is. It
Yeah.
lets you tribute. It lets you tribute summon Revenda's basically Scavenger from deck. Because the second part can summon Scavenger.
yeah.
Or it
Scavenger's
can
the
let you
ritual,
summon,
so
it lets you ritual summon from deck, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, not exactly.
You ritual from grave or hand.
Yeah.
But you
So
can
the
still do
grammar
that.
of this is first you special summon a Vendread monster from your hand deck or graveyard and face down defense position, which cannot be Scavenger.
Could you do Slayer?
Yeah.
So long as they're special summoned properly, yes. So you can get them out of the graveyard. Then you can ritual summon one Vendread monster from your hand or graveyard by tributing monsters whose levels equal or exceed the ritual monster you summon, and it must include the monster you special summon with the.
I have a
one
question. If this card has tribute effect and it's tributed when it's face down, does that still proc when it hits the grave?
Yes, because it's only
Oh,
activated
then
once
just,
it's tributed.
then just grab a card that like wants to be
The
tributed.
only
from
the
your
only
deck.
thing
Yeah.
that it being face down would affect would be its continuous effects.
Yeah.
And as David
No,
did bring up, there are fewer cards these days which interact with face down defense position monsters because they don't stop links. So
Yeah. No, this card is.
it's harder to snipe.
ridiculously good.
yeah,
Yeah.
because it lets you thin your deck for free, and then you tribute materials and the.
I'm actually gonna have to bust out my.
And there's like a combo
Vendread
with
deck
Scar
again.
and Scavenger already,
Yeah.
so it's like
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
So I have a question, just a theory to pose.
Yeah.
Would ritual, if the ritual spell specified which ritual monster you're summoning, would that be a fair thing to say? Hey, maybe those should be summoning from deck.
I mean, I think you could argue it. As
I
long
mean,
as
if
they
it's
aren't-
if the ritual. If it's one of the old ways ritual monsters are phrased where they can only be summoned by those cards, and it's because that is an actual old ritual problem that some of which
Yeah.
haven't been gotten erratas.
Yeah.
it depends on how powerful you want to make.
Yeah,
the
no,
monster.
like I
Yeah.
mean, like normally the way ritual summoning works is not from deck. If it was a specific ritual archetypes thing of doing that, that could be okay.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think it would be generic because
Yeah, no, certainly not generic, but
it
'cause
would
then,
have to depend.
because then you get people trying to make Herald of Asshole or
Well, it's like the
Yeah,
thing is like
maybe
there are a lot of very very strong ritual monsters.
yeah.
Like,
But
and
like
rituals-
if it was like
I mean, I
like
do think that
Omega
is a
said, like
gimmick for rituals that isn't done yet. Like whatchamacallits. Like the Jin support was banish itself from grave instead, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And,
like think about it. Like some
Technically,
ritual monsters have an absolute-
Drytron's gimmick is tributing based on attack, not levels.
Yeah, I think there are definitely ways to make rituals better. Like I think Megalith is probably the best route to go. Like letting things be both ritual spells and ritual
the-
monsters.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I think
probably a
doing
better
more
way
of
of
that.
handling it.
Like
Yeah.
or that or Like the problem with that or Necro is where you can drop them to Sturgeon.
Yeah,
I just don't think
hand
Drytron is the
manipulation
way,
effects.
mostly because like Drytron is Meteorus Draconids is not great. Like if you really look at it with just Meteorus Draconis, it's not that good.
Yeah, Drytron really lives on the backbone of the fact that one, there's a lot of because of other cards, there's a lot of fairy ritual light support
Yeah.
stuff out there.
There's 4 fairy ritual decks.
Yeah. So they get to effectively kit bash, and then unfortunately they do have a lot of cheaty effects, like their ritual spell cheating out because of attack, and then their Xyz, which is just, hey, instead of tributing, detach because fuck you.
Like if you look at
Yeah.
Meteorus Draconids, the actual Drytron boss monster who never gets summoned, all it is a pop 2. It's a
Pop 2
send
big
2.
stats.
It's send 2 with big stats, which is good, but it's not a quick effect.
Yeah. The
So
problem,
it's not
well,
going-
so Meteorus Drytron is the name of their ritual spell. The reason why this card is problematic is because it says this card can be used to ritual summon any ritual monster from your hand or graveyard by tributing machine monsters who exceed the attack, which is not okay. Meteonis, Draconids and Meteonis Quantrinids are their actual ritually boys. So Draconids I think is the more because it's if the total level of monsters used for its ritual summon are 2 or less, this card can attack all special summon monsters your opponent controls once each. During your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can banish numbers from your graveyard. Your combined attack is exactly 2k or 4k. Target one face-up card your opponent controls for every 2k attack sent. Send those cards to the graveyard. So that's it's a quick effect pop, and it can attack all guys. And then Quandrinids is your opponent can't target this card with spell or trap card effects. If the total levels was 2 or less, destroy all spell traps. Yeah, so it's Quadrantids is spell trap, and Draconids is monsters.
Anyway, I have to head out.
Yeah, we're wrapping up. It's midnight.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for tuning into some of our extra boy, stuff. But we had a long, healthy one. So now it is finally time for us when we tackle the next failed portrayal. With Hidden Arsenal to move on to Evil Swarm. But first, assuming Alice is present, because I won't do it without him. But
What's up?
yeah, I know you're going. But I'm fairly certain the poll has ended, the patron poll, because I started doing polls for failed portrayal, and I'm fairly confident it's going to be UA. Let me scroll.
Sports.
Yes, with a resounding 8 and 20 votes total, UA has won. So
Man, do I love sports ball.
yeah, so next week we will probably step down and do that really quick. And obviously I
I'm
have
gonna
some
piss
funny.
off every sports fan that episode.
Yeah. Obviously I have other guys for funny
Oh,
episodes,
good.
and next month
So
there'll be
clearly
a
we
new
need
poll.
spare for that.
I'm just gonna look at UA Slugger and be like, so this is a basketball player.
But yeah, so we'll probably take a break for UA, and then I'll start a new poll, and I'll probably just, if these guys don't want to change their suggestions, I'll just recycle their stuff. So that means I need.
I mean,
a
I will
suggestion.
have to change my
Yeah.
suggestion because I won.
Yeah, but that's if you guys are okay with your selection, we can leave your selection on the poll in future, or you can swap up. I'll talk to that when the new one starts and I have to make the poll. But yeah, there's a little update. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and all that fun stuff. Keep annoying me with uneven numbers, as we're currently at something 59 subs. So keep giving me odd numbers. Make it go up, but make sure it stays an odd number. So I yell at you.
Yeah.
Annoy
11
me.
watching, 7 likes.
Annoy me to you. And you can support us on Patreon. You'll get access to a poll about failed portrayal, among other great benefits. Consider memberships, emotes
Actually,
and badges.
what one's yours on the poll?
What?
What on the poll?
Musketeer.
Oh, yours is Magical Musket?
Yeah.
Okay, then I think I know what I want to do for my.
Okay, well, we'll talk
second
about that
suggestion.
off mic perhaps once I finish my outro.
Okay.
I mean, didn't you already?
So, thanks so much, everybody. Make sure to keep your eye out for Prague. This week's going to be funny because Alistair came out.
Yeah, some of us
So,
didn't get any invitations.
there is a dark pact. You must comment about normal summoning Alistair. It is required. It's in your contract.
Yeah. I feel like this is going to be a format that is going to get Alistair.
What's the worst you could do? Banish me to Australia?
We're gonna do some. Some fun stuff. No, Loth, you are already living in hell. I was joking about your computer earlier.
We can't take you out of Australia.
I talked about
No,
how you are apparently coming to us live from a couple of the power of a couple of lemons in a hole in the outback.
No. There's a hamster on a wheel powering the whole thing too.
Anyway, I probably have to.
Not a
I was
wallaby.
gonna say, no, we'd have to banish Loth back to England.
Oh God, no!
We
I want
reverse-
good food.
But Loth, think about the weather.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I would never live in England.
Yeah.
Not like
No.
Australia.
Yeah,
I'd live
sure,
in
it's raining all the time, but I don't want that.
Sorry, Britain.
They're not real people.
Well, according to Twitch, they are. There's a British tag for streams.
For any actual English/British people, I don't actually hate your place. I just don't want to go there.
I kind of hate your country. Nothing against you personally. I just have a
the
lot of
country
thought in Brooklyn.
are two different things to me.
That's true.
Yeah, I can't
To be
really.
fair, I hate America too.
I
so.
can't really say much on account of being very Anglo.
You live in hell
You-
world.
No,
so.
no, no,
You
no,
live
no,
in a
no, no,
swamp.
no. I'm talking about the British thing. In case you guys
Oh.
forgot,
Oh.
my mother is a British citizen. I'm very half English. I have relatives in England who I've been to visit several
What are you
times.
talking about, Omega? Of course you could comment. No one hates Britain
mean-
more than British people.
No, 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 no,
Apparently
no,
I've
no,
got-
no, no. The Scots, the Welsh, and the Irish. Remember, everybody in the islands all hates each other.
I mean, I'm
Ah.
pretty sure everyone in the world at this point hates Britain. I don't want to be.
No,
mean.
no,
I'm
I'm fairly certain the Ukrainians love Britain right now because Britain is one of the countries shoveling anti-tank missiles into that country.
Okay, let me phrase that. Everywhere they invaded,
Well, yeah.
which is a lot of countries.
You know, listen,
Essentially, when it came to
decolonization,
country,
it's a thing.
when it came to countries, England was Zeus. It just didn't stop sticking it in.
I mean, we could always talk about French Indochina and how they got us in a problem,
Yeah.
but
I mean,
we're not here to talk about
The,
that.
the French
yeah,
aren't
no.
much better up on the world tier
I mean,
list. for,
technically-
like, countries.
With Australia, I can trace my ancestry back to England, Scotland, Spain, the Philippines.
I think a lot of people hate Australia because Australia has mostly done its own thing in a corner over there.
Yeah. I mean, we still got dumbass fuck people. We had a fucking
no.
photo op of the prime minister doing welding to show he was one of us, and
He's
he
not.
lifts
That-
up the
listen,
fucking shield.
That guy is. Your prime minister is such a
Australian prime
dork.
minister.
Even in America, we understand he's a dork who's out of touch.
Scott Morrison failed at marketing and somehow became a politician, and this is what
I mean,
we're
how
dealing
else do you
with.
become a politician?
I'm fairly sure Australia and Britain are in a competition right now to see who has the dorkier leader right now.
He
and
he
it's
was-
hard.
he went
It's
to
a
an
stiff
RSL, a place that is meant to be, hey, we love the Liberal Party, and they were telling him he fucked up.
Oh god. Where's the image of Boris Johnson on like a fucking zip line waving flags?
I mean, oh god, did you hear about what was it, Tony Abbott? We had a guy running for prime minister, and for an interview, he showed up in a fucking speedo on the beach, and it was like, why? We don't want to
God,
see
you're
this.
killing me, YouTube.
I need to show this picture.
I wanted to do a
This is my favorite
fucking
picture.
joke for Loth, but I'm dying here
The
because my YouTube
Current
history
leader,
can't be searched
current
well.
leader of Britain.
Okay, Zed, we don't talk about the Emu War, mainly because if we talk about it, they'll fucking come back again.
No, Loft, I got
Oh.
defeated by fences.
No. I'm not gonna blame you.
Yes!
I'm not gonna
They get
blame
better
the
by
Aus-
actually having good fences.
I'm not gonna blame the Australians. I've fucking seen what are those fucking things called? Not
Like,
emus. They're the
cassowary?
Yeah, those things are
Okay.
fucking nightmare birds.
You've got emus who are a pest, and cassowaries are basically just a dinosaur.
Cassowaries are emus on steroids. So if emus are even half as scary as cassowaries, I understand the Australians losing. Those things are.
It's mostly because when they tried
That's-
shooting
and-
the emus, they just wouldn't die.
Well, yeah, because
But
it's,
Loth, how do you feel about international rock sensation from Australia, Midnight Oil?
who?
Midnight Oil?
The coffee shop I go
Oh,
to?
Midnight Oil?
No.
Oh, you are all uncultured swine.
I know about Midnight Oil.
Dallas,
I think that's a good
I'm
music.
very uncultured. I don't leave my house. What do you want from me?
Well,
That's fair.
Loth, you should. It's funnily enough, Midnight Oil is an Australian band who are one of those socially active rock bands. So perhaps you should listen up.
Yeah, isn't like one of their? Isn't the lead singer like in high government now?
Yeah, he's run for the British Parliament a couple of times. Thanks, Todd, in the shadows.
Really?
Here, I will.
Yeah.
No,
Let me-
Australia is still a bit of a fucked place because
I mean, Australia.
similar to America, we have our own
yes, you have
problem with
your
history and the natives.
yeah.
Australia, though, I will
That
say,
still has not been properly resolved.
Wait, hold on. I'm just learning something that I did not know, and this is
Uh-oh.
crazy. I did not know this band was Australian. I did not know the Bee Gees. I did not know the Bee Gees were Australian.
I didn't know.
Oh
either.
yeah. Let's
I
see.
didn't know that.
You'd be surprised, like who's Australian.
I
who
mean, I
isn't.
knew ACDC. That's the big one. ACDC is
I mean, we all know
probably the
AC/DC.
most famous band of
Filthy Acts done at a
Australia.
reasonable price.
Divinals I knew.
I still love that one.
Sick Puppies I knew.
Dirty
Saint
deeds
I
done
knew.
dirt cheap.
Wolf
That
Mother.
was the
I
joke
knew.
I made. Thank you.
I know.
Jet,
I know.
knew. Wow, a lot of my like
Thunderstruck.
early middle school iPod is just Australian.
Yeah, that's fine.
Jet-
Most people don't know that Flight of the Conchords are New Zealand.
Air Supply is Australian. Okay, that one I didn't know.
Christ. Wow, that's actually like really striking. Air Supply was it in 1980 or 81? Air Supply was huge over here for a long time.
Yeah, there's a
Oh,
lot.
wait. Okay, Architect 10, that is correct though. Those two last things you mentioned are the fucking perfect thing about Australia.
I know
Steve Irwin and
exactly
the
3
Wiggles.
things about Australia: scary wildlife, Steve Irwin, crikey, and the Wiggles. Yep, no, that's your Australia
I know
starter
a
pack.
lot of us. I know a lot of
It's-
Australian music because
It's kind of good because so far we haven't had any scandals with the Wiggles as far as I know, so thank fuck.
no,
because
yeah, no, America and fucking Australia are like, thank fucking God our children's icons aren't creepy because we have Mr. Rogers and the Wiggles, and everything I know about them is they're good people.
yeah.
Jim Henson was before he died was apparently pretty on the up and up as well. You know, engineer,
I mean,
designer
Jim
of things
Henson
like
had-
Muppet and Sesame Street.
I don't know if he was like child friendly, but it wasn't in the same way as like Jimmy Savile. It
I
was-
think I've mentioned this
he
once or
had some
twice.
marital issues.
But
with his
funnily, weird story. But during the time period that Steve Irwin did pass away, I ended up having to stay home from school because I was sick. And I was like, "Oh, what's on TV?" And it was his funeral service that they were hosting at Australia Zoo. The Blue Wiggle came up to do a eulogy.
I'm not surprised.
No, they're great people for memory.
Okay, yeah, NXS is
What the
Australian.
fuck
not-
is it's gone now, but I'll never know why Sunny was trending on Twitter. Anyway, we've definitely gone down the melt hole. Dallas said he had to leave like 15 minutes ago.
Welcome to the Australian rabbit hole.
We're gonna get
One
the fuck
more
out of
thing-
here.
No, you just reminded me though. Best thing about Australia is Australian Twitter, and you cannot convince me otherwise. It makes no fucking sense.
Dallas, I've mentioned Australian Twitter many times. Even I don't understand how that works.
We're both just like, okay, what the fuck, Australia?
Why is this trending?
So we're gonna
You know, I'm just gonna start up a new game.
skedoodle on out of here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like I said, make sure to check out Prague. Dallas has actually died, finally.
I tried
And
going,
we'll see you guys later. Stay tuned for
Yeah.
sports.
I get to complain about Australia tomorrow.
Yeah.